Hello, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome. Sunday DBSC, no. Every Thursday, third week of Thursday, Monday, Mr. Obishia. A friend is Kasem, a high life radio. Usually, 7 p.m. But because Mr. Obishia, I shift about 4 p.m. Like I say, high life radio, and I would say, Sikasem in a brown. And then your topics from Kukrai become wasem topic I'm say I know decoding generational wealth lessons from Africa dynasty and then they become wasem because you can come Mr. Obenda Kun and Patrick Befi. Welcome again. Question.
Befi.
And then I will my
Sharp. Echo be a legend, Echo for you. And Becca African Dynasties once and then say in African history be a different. Now, and Pempi, you know, Ayana legend can say African history are twisting, no. And share that chess is just about 400, 500 or maximum 600 years ago. Anna Sabini Paboniphobia and I saw bet twisting your macacra. Now we're two in futuro Elguini, Senebea, and so ye. But thankfully, Omwanka some penny phony bu or Moba Africa basing idea no. Omu said they have to acknowledge the Africans who taught them or the Africans whom they studied from. And it's our information be brave or just that and you're readily available and now French and I said probably free France etna some friend Count Constantine Divoni in the year 1787 about Africa. No, what it in same piece say civilization, you know, a Greek phone a by and then he had read so many books. I know already books back by Greek philosopher back there friend Herodotus. I know who say Herodotus no wa acknowledge say Niema be no munimno or free Kemet, which is present day Egypt. Now, among all the Egyptian or among all the Greek philosophers, Egypt check Pythagoras. He stayed there for about 22 and a half years until say there was the Persian kingdom capture Egypt until before he left Kemet, which is present day Egypt, so Pythagoras theorem, nobody can use to add the spins, the pyramid, and all those kind of things that. So, Bema, a friend of Constantine Divoni, he became very interested. He said, says Uncle Fui, free the family, so he went there no otro in Sembi. Me person me reading in Semne Kakra. Now me we are my bonnet tofa. Otro say all the Egyptians have a bloated face, puffed up eyes, flat nose, thick lips. In a word, the true face of the mulatto. I was tempted to attribute it to the climate, but when I visited the Sphinx, its appearance gave me the key to the riddle. On seeing the head, typically Negro in all its features, Negro, you'll be a black man. I remembered the remarkable passage where Herodotus says, as for me, I judge the Cochins to be colony of Cochins near Microphobia, almost be colonize, almost be taking over Egypt for Kakra. Now, or to also call the name of Betra Simbi, or trust just to think of it, that this race of black men today, our slave and the object of our scorn, is the very race, is the very race to which we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. Just imagine, finally, that it is in the midst of people who call themselves the greatest friends of liberty and humanity that one has approved the most barbarous slavery and questioned whether black men have the same kind of intelligence as whites. Now, Obaya no behu sanya mani no. The entire emanitron sansewini is because no one who said a year new mabro no came your mother before to for my nkwa. So when he came to Africa in that 1787, Obehu said, near man crofo yi kan nyina no sa enye den and you know, so he was against racism. But then in some now all can nani probably bring any in your day and yarding until so no about back to Africa or be who Sanya Manina, I'm not trust Sansi or sit they owe our sciences, even the use of speech, the way I casa literature, all those kind of things. Now see the West, the Europeans, they owe it to Africa. And then he continues to say that these same Africans, no, or more Egypt now, mulatto near you is because they had mixed with Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, and all those people in Makala and ISR. But by now, the Spains, no, and Debbie, yeah, Caucasians for no, yeah, really NTC, yeah, no, thick. So it means that these people actually fabricated a story in order for them to attribute everything good to themselves. Now, you can't be a science, oh, yes, Bibi and come, and it's in that same spirit. Anna. Hypocrites or mockers on the father of modern medicine. It's not true. No baby a bit challenging me. But a person challenging me on find the facts, Embra. Hippocrates was never the father of medicine because on one case several thousand years and sana Oba na imhotep my jumani nyinada. The rind, not the rind, no my or the papyrus back or my nina dada. So these people try to twist the story, and as a matter of fact, most of this information, either say Ashino, and I say Obia Shedat Naswa Ugugu Grandpa onye the way. I had this from a professor. He's a professor who is studying most of these things. And Odemame. I mean, so me go through that information. It will be unlikely to even find it anywhere. But I'll make the link available to people who are interested to read more about it. Nipana Mikan was a friend, Count Constantine Livoni. He came to Africa in 1787. So whether it is physics, whether it's chemistry, whether it is mathematics, remember the Nigerians were even practicing the Vigesimal system, base 20, all these great things. And as a matter of fact, the world that we are coming to talk about, they studied it from here. We need problems, say, but trying to tell us, say, and the only way to defend it is for us to read our history and speak it loud and start teaching young ones at a very young age. You'll build that confidence in them. But train history now, actually no school, no dia, and no team fan carry. Remember the moiha. Webi, and as unya, it will be able to enable them to feel empowered. Or kasa, ubihuna, me kasa. I went to a barber shop one time. Now me kasa same way. Gabi to oye kwasikoko no shimi ni wentimi ankasa ana masheda na mesa hamamo sa ana me mafak na fi no aye din no hweme me so man hwene na me imitiwe na me sore koye. You think these people, if you don't read the history, they will always put you down, but where are we going to get it? So I'll make the link available. You can click on the link and read more about this particular portion of the African history.
Kasi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome again, everyone, for Sikasem. And that topic, no, is topic be also council. By the way, Kwesi Desmond, we call also Mr. Obin books we call MV Sharp. We kumase more on Sabekambi. Desmond, we call MV Sharp. We kumase more on Sabekambi books ni BBA or Honor. Right. So before you best starting you make sure say you like it, now you share, now you subscribe so. And the topic to say kind decoding generational wealth lessons from African dynasty. And then the we are learning from the dynasties. Now decoded the generational wealth. Mr. Obe Michel again. Mr. Kankam so Michel be.
Yes, I was.
You can say you decode a generational word plan anything. Answer, Mr. Oben. Generational word.
Because you can't go that's it. Also, come to us.
Aye.
The all kind of was here or to us. Also, to us because. One say, and Crophobi sorry, oh, where do you hear more history in a year then? The current say, Bibian's answer.
No.
They see thousands of years ago, and one or more rebranding. Now we'll be a Kennedy. This year, You for no American. Then be almost ye be one shot, almost the dim baby at to so. Who go relatives are going? Oh, Russia, when you're uni, and so still also a uni. It was celebrating rap. Passover. Will be a celebrating you. There was a history in Ukraine here. No? Oh, sorry, I was Abraham blessings am I? And the history. Yeah, pet and will be at me about more the as a history here. The young tree and him queen. There's no way I'll bet my calling. Abraham baby, I will free. It's impossible. There's no way I'll bet my a dime be a yet 10 foundation and conform. There's no way I'll be who dia a wapa and the foundation, the root no and conform. The history is the root. Now the entire year can we munino. Over the last maybe 2,000 years, Africa, or even earlier, Africa has been under insurgents, one generation to the other, constantly from every front. And you normally be a twapeting. No, no, you go for be brave, quite almost yamia moye. Na bibi kraka bibini, you know, correct. Can come history working. So him power more dynasties now. That's a period of rule by a particular generation. The first 25, they Africans. The first 25. So almost abrophobia bemua. But I say at least data or what I say maybe 3,500 BC to about 1,000 BC. Nina na yabi before. Nti sa pyramids ya ohuni bebre ni nyina no dodo no a mpanyufo mu di ani mu the pharaohs were dark or black. Is after maybe just about 1,000 BC. Ana nkofo foforo yede started so be no kura akoko ya no mu be mu. So ebi mu kura track history now omoko at least 10,000 years domination of the African race. Now every other race be or bar Africa say pyramids no pay be or pay or bar and ya bravo in one started almost no from about 1,000 BC will be over Africa be or bar or be fire no money be we are or person katayechi from the Persians to everybody. And this is one and yet net started say cool. This one komua obeka say oh we mo dear no make us because of the distortion of the information I want and yet Europeans see distortion as Arabs distortion spare. So and into that also call far deeper than that no sooner because it's as fresh as today. We say there is no time limit between memories. Is the advice of maybe I will take a ball from okay to say the scene and so what the bear for 10 years. So history is actually fresh to those who know the power of history. And a mundo was saying, and as our dynasties no cry who was the first pharaoh. Abrofuno who's our normal way in our Mokata. So Kwame Nkrumah books be brave. Do you know that they criminalized the books? As a matter of fact, the entire young West Africans, at least Africans or your continent, no. Sa history we mo be obo pe nkofo be brand nyina. Still womunya aware no is because nkofo na no more for a friend say interest wo mpa no African Americans no, na Jamaicans. And omo books no abrofo no particularly machinery no they raised war against it. Omuka say a dangerous information. And they knew it. The news says our discoveries nearby. Say yen asembaba. And almost African Americans so almost a asembaba. Jamaicans almost a asembaba. So more hundreds and thousands of these scholars, African scholars, who were so much interested in history deeper than the Bruni Becachere. Omu books so much training at the and say internet here. And you move brain here. Omu books no cry, move brain to African scholars. But at the same time, obi ye medicine wa ha ye kire no Plato. Aristotle. Adentina woman na ye catch na people who came before them. And the so more the they are distorted. It is an intentionality. Almost share that sebe light be. Yes, I saw how who normally be more distorted. Even physical evidence of what him say normal way the Africans in a year. Yeah, distorted on the identity. Because the power of history. You know it. And you want to mean African. We are strong. Our weak memory as an African. The only reason you see an African who is very strong, an African, the memory, the history is that strong. Beyond the Nancy Akosibro. So when near we wait me the school be Harvard, Yale, Oxford, still ombre. This one is true. In the African, I won't go school, baby. I was information on. We are more powerful than African. Wakwa food school. Now only in history, and that's the difference. And nothing here. See, be suya normal way. So generational wealth, Sebe. Se unim ze ona nano o is Ghanaian. Una ma wadwenko. And then him say good for say here o mo una ma wadwenko. As a matter of fact, say see e obi say obi a okọ baby ebisa o kọ nanti o firi he. O ma me no papa de say una na mo ne hwan. Can you imagine say bi as see e metuwe na assemby atome na obusa me din kura me nkai. Me ma di me nkai, me yere kura me nkai, na me ma me mo me nua no nyina me nkai. School amako normal ma ye nyina me nkai. Obi a bit much them say na afiri magi atom. Obi tuma so me say de makoba bi sesi ye kokunkura wo because we need memory. And all human beings, our difference is in our memory. Doctor, a trainee at the man, is that our history? Businessman is the same. Engineer, accountant, carpenter. Juma will cost you ni wure mfie. And then otimi ye no. E da obenya accident and one kai is about that wa. No I don't know. Yes, yes, not ten foforo. So human being is as powerful as its history. The same with a race. Every race is as powerful as their memory. And the history of any group of people is their memory. And this will be distorted you as an individual. Remember, they can rule you forever. And that's why Ukofa Aqua and Asa Mfana in an amount obi free baby by is ready and connect yasem. Didn't ya? Because you see a car, it be a be in a free. It was a penny for him for a woman in answer pano. Woman baby, woman will be assay. Woman baby will be a free. And into that Kunyano, so one come into him from Mount because we do a baby as a bone crew, he found free. That is history. And he said, it's only shallow to a weak people. And to Shia will be an say, oh, Africa 40 years said, yeah, we are living in the past and we are blaming the white man. When him the echoes will be as you can't catch on. When him will be a obesha the beer and a near tibia and a near fear what pest own person will be betting so. You will feel baby free back. We are then. Okay. You may be Mikai England, Madame Bako, no Afghanistan, Mohammed. And yeah, then I need green. Then besides, I know when you green free heifer, which let me move. But I also know I'm doing so Afghanistan, yeah, I'm doing so Arab. Also, no, I'm not Arab, I'm Persian.
Wow.
And when you offend that so be catches or Arab, also a Persian. They know it's only Africans, and because it will be your modern to say entity and I will be the design yenti and the primary thing I know was a shame will catch us in here. The essence of history. All education is part history. All education. And you cannot know yourself until you know your history. It's impossible. You cannot know who you are, where you come from, your identity, your courage, Remember generational wealth in us. You will never see the essence of your wealth if you don't know who you are. And how do you know who you are? Until you have memory of who you are. It's a generational wealth, naturally, the wealth that was before you and the wealth that will be after you are gone. Oh dear, you are just an intersection. So into a baton. And it's a winning me see a baton at the mouth of a it was a buy was a China for only 3 years ago, no, the entire name because we have a weak history. Our memory is weak. And it's because we have depended on Bronentity or their mind. And it's entity on the mind. One farm may say a bit deep. Or the may say a baby boy in infra. And found title or the atu to saw your doctor and a lawyer and found. So long as I won't team in an uncle. Oh, Japadi, who know fan was a bow, someone or support no. A catcher is one a investor or technology, one and not you don't. Into or the amount or the quantity and the amount. And what paid the immediate also. Quantity na the fapping. And I say, Chaco say, ye dear one summoner. It is what you're titi we are. So be ye dear no, or far 1 penny. Was assassins will be to talk 1 penny. Will be found cry no more 1 penny. Because only said action on offer. So the wealth, the generational wealth, is the land, is the gold, is the people, is the agriculture, is the knowledge, is the memory, is the technology, is the politics, is the culture, is the tradition, is the heritage. This is the entity. So that's the generational wealth. And it's our duty. Say a befa, yes, and their core. And I say, be making sure say the next ones are going to be the actually. I know when you know, Munsai. And into our him one. Running to the by an idea, because we don't have any understanding of wealth. We only have understanding of profession and certificate and salary, not wealth. To forget his sanity.
Because you go.
Yeah. Legend, and a topic yes, and I'm me throw no small. So yeah, we say when you're into a kind African history, sometimes you can't help yourself but to cry because Oshe near my idea in town. I think I won't na unimono. Now, I have you 50 years, 60 years. I feel no one who say, sometimes, and the reason why I say, minim se me papa, this year. Na se me, minim se media dear money, or more munya this year, cry best quanda, a japadienne or a hini no. I'm here until the time where I realized that me na me this year, no, na I then. I can't trade. Until I say, now make us say, a bit me and GS, we should even look beyond the normal history now. And not in Kanya see if you know parents, if you can try and teach the young ones history as early as possible. As early as possible. Legend, may follow-up question. Yes, lessons from African dynasties. You say all the big pharaohs or mobile, the first 25 no modika eba, you know. Your Jose Mo on the time nana in hotel no you niema kesia or mutimi ye hwe san krofo ya and then etimi mo mutimi gina e mo come anim. They reign for so many years until the influx of the West or the Europeans and I said the Greek came to Kemet. Then a more dance so every other African countries no because Satam is just not other African countries know about Omono, and then a dance or other African countries, it beat me as free or more in terms of generational wealth.
Or more time, knowledge was God. knowledge was God.
Mm.
That's it. They saw knowledge as supreme. Knowledge. That's why somebody could go to school for 40 years.
Yes. And not to cut you, legend. Mom free a yini buy and obian ultimate graduate here. Or mom free West Neba Kemet, you know. Obian to me and graduate because all could school for about 40 years. You Timmy Cork a by Pythagoras 22 and a half years. Or more canon 10, 5. Yeah, or more to me. Yeah.
That's it. So that was it. Their strength was knowledge. And no knowledge, and then yet it was this was esoteric. It was high level knowledge. And now the prophet for I said why he because his transfer be a pay is solid, becomes spirit. That was it. So their knowledge was not just the solid form, it was a knowledge that was in the spirit. High level vibration. What they call cosmology. More normally be no but really it was just knowledge, and it was in every field, whether it's engineering, whether it's management, whether it's technology, every field, family, every field. And tomorrow, that's why they could build the pyramids. Yes, because their vibration was very, very much high. And himself, and it was an owner's responsibility. So we a leader, you must have that knowledge. I think that was their biggest strength. Because from it, and a BB so, and just as they say, knowledge is power. That's it. So they were talking, they understood what was wisdom, understanding, knowledge, truth, justice, kindness, compassion. So I know were level. And no man be break cross say yeah, kind Bible, yeah, kind. Bible by the same formation no more. Even higher form of those knowledge. That was their greatest strength. It was knowledge. And beyond it, I've almost started some of the church media. And it's you'll be almost so. And so far, I'm detaining. And into the whole empire could run for 500 years, 1,000 years, one generation to the other. Edena is the knowledge that they transfer. And it's our knowledge, Sabi. Then you will be and will be. And yet, the contract classroom say agriculture is there be the obedi most a different. That the obedi actually is also a different. And we are going to cost beer, and you know what's on your signing beer. So I think that that was their strength. Wow. The obsession with the power of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding. And they call it harmony. Yeah. They work in uniformity. There'll be so at that level of knowledge, will not exist. Say the yes, you can't offer any idea and offer, and that is a continuing leader. Because knowledge no form. So you will see their knowledge by the precision of their practices.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I heard decoding the generational wealth. I heard generational wealth now. I heard about how the DNA no more yes free, other my kakra about the dynasties are we know him say your friend is saying Egypt in Egypt. Then now I say cry no na powerful example, the about Benin cry war. I'm not to say Benin war cry was,
Yep.
greater than China. There, the world and in which are some dynasties are near crying. You will be crying. Will be
Okay. The minimum said dynasties now can refer to the ancient Egypt, Kemet, the pharaohs.
The pharaohs.
Other ones about the bit like I say kingdoms and empires.
Empires, okay.
So that's why you will see Kush, you see Ghana Empire, Mali, Songhai, even Asante as an empire. You see that. And almost all of them, a bit more almost ran a bare 1,000 years, like Ghana Empire, for instance. That was a very powerful empire. Ghana Nankasano was the name of Ohinenano Disuno.
Ghana.
Yeah.
And Chilesika Koko, that time, Chilesika Koko. And a Grovobi, the best status of Mode Nidine to empire, but Neye or Hinankasedi. So now, Oshemwa, a Bimocracy started before 300 AD. But I know that it ran up to about 1,200 AD. So over 1,000 years. Over at least 50 million people were in that empire over time. Now, you cannot manage such people. Abra, imagine Uncle for the actual is on by any ancient Papua, and possible. An empire na a war gold. Make it well. And the gold no say such as more in the technology being.
Yes.
So that goes back to the knowledge that they had. Not only to govern themselves.
Almost let it form, you hear knowledge.
And the phones are how almost the MLT.
It's be a good chain. It's be
Sebe, if you had your wood in one bachelor. See, I know much more home by free or more time for home. In Fidie, and in a 2 hour no more. One a chrom. As a matter of fact, no more language, no more train. So, who's your question? Any Arab, and as a brony and a better anoman. Those history. So, who person anoman, who tear brony dear pet, who beg yatum automatically. So, she's a brony a man and come to me. But will be a Usia dear beyond the Akosibonia Kabialbo said these empires run on their own, with their own scripts, constitution, education system, health system, military system, technology. So they built dams, agriculture, they built storage systems. Will be a trying to. And to normally be these things were running. Maybe if the last person or can language be wua, the generation after that will never know the depth or the wisdom of that civilization that spoke that language. Into one way, I can say, oh, if the last person dies, and no man, daddy lumba ma bonica kuma bonina, sa no money no. Maybe we'll transfer into another form, but not the texture itself. So the same is what happened to the Africans. A lot of languages died. Their technology died with them. Their management systems died with them. Their script, their writing systems, their languages. And then also will be bad over catching someone here, maybe. Because that generation is not day. But at least there were traces here then. And into that Israel because the writing systems were brought to Africa by the Arabs. Into what do you want to conclude? Africans say the money nyasa kukrada. Kopem say the perform for the bit my baby be a mom. I just no what you to say naturally. It's not true. Civilizations run thousands of years before there was any Arab or European. And so you can pick any of the empires of the kingdoms and see it as Ghana and as America, how it survived. Because one team for America, for family, religion, technology, finance, music, entertainment, all those things, they happen because they were human beings like you and like me. It could be different technology form, but everything that they needed to survive as an economy The same things. So the way they store their information, the way they taught their people, the way they communicated, the way they thought of the next generation, they're the same. They're the same. The way they fought sicknesses and diseases. Before now, the Bronies one that did be a buy and uncle one buy and near your head, and they then you one son over. Have you ever asked yourself that? Thousands of years before you came, if these people were so stupid, and then when you and son over.
Oh, I'm saying the line the call.
Just say they knew how to survive on their own at a very high level of technology.
We'll be safe, even if we're working with a barefooted. There's a lot of benefit that comes with working barefooted.
Right.
It connects you directly with your friends, Mother Earth.
Yep.
Because he called before it's over about that.
Yeah, your legend is true. If you study the me free dynasties Nekrana Yembra Yen West Africa side. As I not to me a Kemet no more, but West African side now we see something unique about Nkrofukubia na from or normal free Benin Kingdom. And then Benin Kingdom that's what Hankebewo the Edo state. And then normal practice Adebia, I think some are called the Vigisimal system. So Vigisimal system, no, what they buy in Kutabuma, you say, oh, compute in base 20. And into your normal numeration system, you see, you say 1 + 1, you 2, ABR 2 + 2, 4, 4 + 4, 8, you know. What they call more Vigisimal system, and that's what they call our base 20 now. It will not necessarily be 1 + 1 will be 2 or 4 + 4 will be 8. And unti bibusame ho say ti sebiu se na bibini sebi enim nya sasenia ebimu kana esi den no munya adwen bi ho say okay me wade baako me de baako kan emi okay but yen san develop system sa de baako no the way ye calculation no it will be slightly different. A omutimi de ye adwuma e ma ne ye den. So we the Vigisimal system, Benin Kingdom at that time. The Yoruba people.
The
Yoruba people, not Benin Kingdom. They were practicing that Vigisimal system. So that should tell you how powerful the people were. The Rhind mathematical papyrus I containing over 80 mathematical problems. I senior Ebia adebi da hone around obe calculating the circumference, the area, all those kind of things. Na na ho mutimi di ebububu nkunta omde ye niema kese bebre. And unti generational wealth no tembia ya na ye ka ya adwen ekosisika so. But ne kese pa de meme de ni akakra masua every impanifo ho no. Me hu ni se ne kese pa generational wealth kese pa enim de. Because say ejanum ejaye ejapade bebre na so oman chire nimdia yebetimi dia dane ejapade na yenso yeni ho a ye dia omomo mu di achi na it will go extinct senior legend ekano because we will not have any way to pass that knowledge to the next generation. And tina tem bia ohwa Ghana tribes ni bi wo mo kasa ne ya extinct. Tribes ni bi wo mo kasa ne ya extinct. Obumo krampa legend ni kasa no okano oka na offering but onim say your knowledge is hidden in your language. The knowledge that you are seeking to be powerful is hidden in your language. And untina team bia no say wahwa ye ka kemet omasem ye ka Benin Kingdom omasem ye ka Yoruba is because at that time they spoke only the language, the Yoruba. They had no other language. And until now, Sebu, not any tribal Osha Abia Akamfua. They are proud to speak the language. And that is the reason why our language dominating Oko Ghana almost obiet mikatri. Obiat mikatri almost no timin kanokrano. Utimi tiase ba Abia nitonation na emun sheda endao. So that should tell you that generational wealth here comes, and all these great empires, all these dynasties, they were able to survive for several years was because of the language. And mind you, at that time, Africans' way of passing down information, it wasn't only through writings. Your way of learning, about 70% of it in a verbal through storytelling. And they said in the new beam, I can almost say be an assessment, ebia yetwan and now and chrometry share a jahonom and maybe it was that same way. And nobody passing knowledge now, but because you crasini. But you say is that same thing that is making a lot of things go extinct. And unti yentimi enko made the Igbo for bear example. Akaneno. And I think right now they still practice it. Be a young boy or bear 12, 13 years. Now you not come either send offer. And I say ne bread and I say penny be no woman across here where the Okrukesim. No afar, no titina from in Fina to about 25 years. Into this 25 now, not upon who master no so the sika and I saw the Japadi be a canon so no so fan bonnet bra who could miss store a channel. No, they are starting a business. And to go Nigeria, Osha more you're more not near Yoruba for no or they dominate in their political side. But Igbo for no, they have a strong business acumen. And the reason is because they be no mashishato say we have to take the young ones through an entrepreneurial route. And into your pass it down that information to also on course school that when you say you take inventory on the restock level, they don't have to go to school to learn all those things. And funny enough, Professor B. Ebechrecher or say whatever thing that they teach in Harvard, MBA, and all these Ivy League schools, no, they trace it down to that Igbo way of passing knowledge to young ones to start their business. Did that MBA model now, entrepreneurship now, school now, the genesis actually started from that Igbo way of doing business. But and name your shows will be a Igbo ni or can he chrome Igbo cast and a crown here or beferry because he's in his or cabro for Chihon no yes or Coca Igbo cast and a B or Bene or beferry input yeah 100 of a befi mean church the crap. Obu or Hanum see or a Ghana ni or Tipipa Ushawa no yen wabro for some. But yen na Ghana for me no Nejana ye didn't come so then when a way and chair and commona ye can say ebia ye can brof manitias but ye per se ye then ye cabrofo because in me say o cabrofo say unimade. It's not true. A lot of us just speak English, but we don't really understand. We are speaking it for speaking sake. And intina ten bia no bon so be o person say me by a person force no man cabrofo unti ontimi nchiremu ye. The moment abeka so fan ko ne kasem no, it flows flawlessly. And that is why I say the power and the knowledge that you are seeking for is hidden in your language. Yebuza say, you don't have to think about it. But near on take us and Yebuza say, no to say, I say, patches say, and see, Sadia no, and I have femua, you will be brain AD. So there are a lot of us, brofunin, intimi who ye kessie, or can you chrome cassa so I best in the end, you know, on your day. So I think one way that we can also decode the generational wealth is to actually embrace our language. Be proud about it. Be proud about it. I have a lot of ever friends, even though but some of them or see on person or can't or ever and also you see a man from pen as some say we are all victims of circumstance. You did not decide to come as an ever, you did not decide to come as an Akan. Be proud of the language that you speak because that is where the power and the knowledge of your generational wealth is hidden.
Because what they all can say ubi American on beso beka tree on beso beka tree. Kogana sisia somebody is proud in the anti tree or omuka brofu fi tino. He omuni ni nyansa. Anya nebe Ghana ho sisia. Obi te be kwai Bekwayo the bantimi katwi na kohwe brofo bi o kan o se brofo na o za akakra no Just say they are proud. I said they all Ghana no. You probably man can whatever it is. Brofo no more can, and they are proud say the banner can brofo. Now you brofo probably as so. Na ya yekrum kra na obi katwi obi ka brofo no tia wo de hwese ni sisire no wo so obi akatwi waka ewe waka ga atia me yasire no da
maybe
enso de onu osuan no mu no oka na osire a otia ne yasire no ade a yekosuan no yomtimi beto na ya two face this is it's not funny to me anymore na de atwe waka brofo ati na osire enso what waka brofo ati enye de krum kasa oka twi na wotie no oka ga na wotie osire no enu mom na nka wose yesire no because ena eni krum kasa etinye hakwa say Ghana call me no e chen yi obeso waka brofo anyway to us go follow up question bi na say mentor us
but the legend bet me akọ
oyo ti say the ye chechemu koya no my instances a bit me aboan when it comes to those niyama. I know what's the tea about their high level thinking and a friend saying the education, the knowledge, and omodi diniyamum. A dear being na usha yes say bit me afraid bit me aboy because we lesson from African dynasty. Dear Yaman or be omo me na me pese be quest actually. Said you can head dynasty na can usually no Egypt nkwa de asana the other one empire near de but sometimes we call so we researcher dynasties no be where the Ghana empire is animal in account even cry no I was shocked the last time I check here Ashanti was part of it omo Ashanti she meaning say intentional say oh but it yempa the bank akra bia Benin the no man omo ya ye betimi afa lessons from that I betimi aboa ya ma esuetimi is this
so we say what the emphasis ante inti a Britain for ni bra asante enye asante ya hia for anka Britain ko ogoko sika inti na Britain ni bre enye sika dwana nko a ni sika angasa military force and you say military power any worth and antibom who here near the whole thing. So the more nations the more they become powerful militarily. And he said, kingdom be and as a dynasty be 80 many abrofono konya. It's all because they were not poor. They were not poor. Actually, I said they knew, and I said, no, what ye dia say. See ye dear a bamboo. Ye dear a bamboo. And yet, o more mote as I say, go that's in until no musia kwaya wombefa. The mental system is built on language. Your mental system is built on language. Because kasabini ya kachirewo and sana wadwe na edru baby edru. Ndizi yede kasa na ne mu odu na e connect baby na chirewo wadwe no the system see ya programming no. It different from the ye kasa na connected with the culture. And internet even up to date, we Africans, groups, tribes are more powerful in wealth. They are also powerful in their language. You can't separate them. Go to any African country. The most powerful tribes are also very much proud of their language, of their culture. And it can be say, the all creative word na the nipa ne nyi omo huni omo ka sa no mama mere omo mu omo ho omo ndimi fa yedi ni mani ye it is a bro for every baby ejire edi hia de beba me catch your offer we nye prophet no kre na me catch your Edi here the beba ye ni beje say ye beye secretary ma broni. Akrana when ya brain so ye we say na obey doctor no hospital won't see be that, I'm telling you. Oh yes, Garo check. Because the language, the foundation, the mental processes, the mental system, the foundation is the language, the culture, the identity. It's worth what you mean quite any panel for so jing in free. And no bit about Jia as you almost home. And it's almost tea, dear say. None normal ye ye wo community no so wo kire wo no mo kire wo mo beba so. To say almost ye digwa ye kire wo. Because in him say dwadi ye di ye kuya ye kire wo. Ye mponche nwan ye blacksmith ye too good. You train ya. Sa no many nyina bon say wo kire wo. It's an education system. And yes it is sidan. To bonza akwara de wo no to ho no na amana sase kodo afu e bia wakodo 10 acres odo koko duon komra no bonza de ze wanyesika no abeware kire oyedie no ntina society no wo kwan a ye fa so kire yedie wo yen ze ba bi ete no yen kire yedie se wa momode ankosua afiri especially wo mode ekotena because Bruni classroom na was started to watch the opposite watch there. We ye free one today. Do him was school to producing growth for Monty ye DAC. The Omote has any salary increment. That's it. So yeah, chichi ye die. Never. And to who dynasty be a powerful biano. Ye die was an education system. Ye chose ye ye chose ye powerful. Sikaja. I don't have friend bambuja, and I said Nieja. Yes, it's Sikaja. Now, when it is Sikaja, so I be here. Do you know Munim? How powerful wealth is. The normal van show being sat. So, time for better to mamma my
Better possible.
Any possible. You train lawyers, train doctors, you train engineers. Munim ye the Korean American. Bako ko prempe won ti di ase nyo pogorio ko prempe won ti di ase
wow ko was lepo for that ti di ase
won ti di ase wa shemo about tie so ya why titan wo pe won ti di ase so ya ko ya funa so ya lawyer won ti di ase because ye di ne akire. It is royalty. Wealth is royalty. And you don't teach royalty in school. So that's why it's generational.
Yeah.
And yen and was it chere was it sin. The go fund mo chere no yen ye da. To bit my fa asua. Now they are society no but ye can ye die. Ndi na sha America wo here hwen abusua o ma ye over the last 100 years. Yan chere sa ye die no wo school.
Yeah, right. Oshe yeah, I'm saying the last time I come have. Because we break it
and to both say ye die bia oko Arab I dey say. Sebe otum for the watch the war for asem no. En kire no school. The Quran ka choro.
Abi.
En kire no school. And into the wiase na nka say wiase. So odwen kwa kire pa wo mo di wiase no. Eh before you do mo call school wo ti ye di ase. A lot of political leaders are not wealthy people. They just went to school. Yes. A lot of lawyers, doctors, engineers, middle class people, They're not worthy. They don't understand worth. They understand middle class.
I say Oti scarcia umieska. Masadiana, make a bibiana.
No.
Hey, this is deep.
No. And to both even I dare say that information be require what finance only I don't know. It's not the worthy who are teaching that.
Yeah.
It's not the worthy.
Because you go
Africa nankasa the worth no. To share more. You will yet to. Where Brony oko a typical African fear. Brony and the fear fet said the African no fear feno. Hey Brony and any fiba. The ordinary white person, they don't carry themselves in royalty. Oba Ghana, Oyeni crowds or sorry, no addressing. Oh, sorry, we're polished. Couldn't be any fee clean. Abrafo baby, I'm who among your sanity. Brunia, what dressing not just way high pa. Brunia, if you fair way high. But yaha, Uhunua, one shed any baby or to polish. We clean. It shows that there's royalty in Africa. So ye diankasano, oh, trust pa. And you're far from it. The way I yet tea no mercy. And until I nipa ne can hook a crabby or who ye deal with Africa. We train him. Ye dear Benny. Because he brony ye dear artificial. Yeah, drink a crabby differently. And what I mean teaches I don't know. Oh, the banana bamboo effect.
Yeah.
You could see it. Did you hear any panel so better to know who ye deal? The entire because the wealth is in the land, access to land, access to trade, access to agriculture, access to knowledge. And here for pan ya barricade this man. And yeah, and into our chrome says here, open so beach or says here more. When you see can sana watch it. Because that is wealth. What pass as says here, Bush, opinion in person, as here, Maubi. That is word. The reason I am who is the interpretation of word based on Kwasi school of the Bible. So you move brave, we are worthy. When I naja cocoa for 100 acres. Also a bush and here or because we don't understand word. The agent is a word to say when you're bossing the apotoka.
Una naja asase 100 acres.
Yeah.
So here. Or that Accra, we still him.
Sir, until you say,
I go. What Pisca can Pisca say we are was I come connection man need not far.
That
Brazil.
Nicaragua.
Aye. No aside rule of Mataba. So you was asking oh you see okay we can say and I would so what other now to her bra. Bra yeah. Aye. Wow. We see okay. Now can be about the dressing is any man on the way, no. You know, be what I want to say. Hey, I'm papa as now can. Because okay, that is because na a Jumana guy back so your friends the diplo me mate back or dressing attacking. You know, what attacking part to say yes. They said, yeah, quite the quiet address in the video. They said, she should come every day. Now, Bruni Waku or Rakawaku was man, why do you dress like that? I just, you know, that's how yes, I said dress up. Yes, I know my mind. Or hey, what dress you up?
Yeah,
it's you know, not I started so baby. I'm going to do the same thing or start here. Miss went to me 1 week. I feel I said, man, I can't do this, man. I can't do this. Why do you need to go? Yeah, boy, is you I say can't do any.
Yeah, dress it. Just one this Ghana.
True. I'm saying other countries you cry the America for Adi dressing.
Hey, Britain, you.
Britain, oh my chain. Oh, they be a promotion America for. Britain, Debbie. And how even socks cry, socks she or she black now or she blue she white no she will no more than now. Or they are shiny shoe no number sorry, or they are shiny shoe no number jumum.
And what names that will be to Ghana see here.
Nah,
because of me simple.
Yeah,
said there you. At the 4-9 Casano, whom we fee now we should see your normal bones or mono. It is at the 4-9 Casa. More old wealth, generational wealth. And yes, we're extravagant, but you can see class.
Yeah.
And that class is very close to us.
Because you're royals.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
you know, so when you say African Americans, no more back Africa, back Ghana, no more back now, share the way we see Kasa. What him say? Because you say, be different. What him say?
Be different.
I say, na sada near 10 no more Kasa when you actually. Now, what TV is no more Kasa. Obaka yes, I Ghana ni free by you. What kind of different? When I say na Gabriel Union, no can't buy. Just say, what team say or more kind of different? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
so my point is again. But Oba, Obia will be different formation. We are Oba, beauty no.
Yeah.
Beauty no. Share ordinary chief will be a watcher than me as a case be a crowd as only case be a crowd. Yes, open say Yeshua, and Yeshua, you bring the betray you. You bring the betray says the idea boy at you. And you bring the betray say or 2 for address or so they go to turn out. And that I don't know, it didn't come from colonization. This was before royalty.
Yeah.
The way I have first only been Pakasa. It didn't need the manipa. Sebe, was it canipano? Brunisi canipano. We shall know where Muna. As a matter of fact, who see respecting, see comport on one. And son of more access. Won't you put your may be out of you when you're trained. Joshua Scafo pa would Mukromo who you was Sikapa yet Basabaso. You're very calm, collected, respectful. Respectful, that one you will not take it from them. You were high in the antiteno. See now here. Wouldn't you go to for him now because my friend? Oh, him. That's royalty.
Okay.
That's worth. But what we are obe information. Because Africa for the above he couldn't tie over. A high level vibration, and that is what they practice. I'm telling you.
Almost na yen yama baby akesi. Omo na yen yama akesi san na yeah.
Ushiana who said what the need yama nipa. And your papa when 70 years ago, professor could just say market say. How are you, market? Professor, when 70 years. Who 20 years, we are a market say. And what just said that when you it's for the ordinary. It's not for the top. Because you can't do that to Prince Charles.
No.
That's royalty. Okay, Charles said, say, how are you, Mike? Oh, whatever.
What's up with you for?
Huh? No, why? Because you understand the processes that people go through and stand to a certain level.
Yeah.
So even though you need a nipa, but you cannot take out what people sacrifice to reach somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the mark of somebody who's been trained to be worthy. You don't trivialize input. and sacrifices and position and power. So what name difference in that? We ain't any. Be how who done it there? Crown I'm so we any automatically. Even though it's got a crap. So what's worth is different. Worth is different. You value access, you value information, you value privilege, you understand protocols. That is worth. And it's no money ordinarily. You want to draw no identity.
I obviously refer to that as old money.
Yeah. Swati. A difference of Uromufia who cow, moka, who so musikasa, so musikro nipa. In Tetia, Mumma. More heritage, more history that you can't take it out. It's, as a matter of fact, they teach them constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, but trying crying is a caca soon go group. Also, language about was way. You know that's how way.
Hey, the guy I call my friend said, hey, was it first when you saw quiet? You kuno. I was going when you say. It's in another one. I feel your 10 years or quick classic common muska. Yeah, I am kuni and she.
Yeah.
You know, you're crazy. Anyway, I'm off way.
You want to be a way ye pan. Maybe not Sikani because away brony. Or say, once you our family history crying 1,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are, and you can see Africa in those things.
Yeah.
I tell you. Oh, tia, you bizarre, mammy, papa didn't cry. Also, peso ye. So the crypto, or the crypto name, how wide the bay. What do you want to know? Royalty is worth. I won't say a lot much one call messy up. The video is rich. Yes, I know for. Will be a one over power with the minus. When yes, you can't yes, you can't. Both will now can waka. Go be shine, I say. The tina also Omukwa ye be
when yes, you can't yes,
Yep.
Now college goes away.
And what is one in BB? What is one in me? One in BB or nim. Anyway, so you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see.
I'm saying I'm off where he. I'm off where
yeah, I think
Fred Hitty.
Uncle Fred Hitty, man. So from the legend, I can also one thing. Entry insist upon say generational wealth, and then the dynasties and the empires. No, ye say ye idea communal. The legend card was wealth was communal at that time, and now share mostly okay. Maybe I can afford them and meet their example. Usually, if free my many side na eba because a papa side na one share greediness be if my side never now of phone in idea that was to implement that communal aspect of ye even though the other part of history or say biana utun for ne arena say and no but what was communal no mu say kwami dia ama ediye ama dia afia bedi emefedi yawo ebedi ntina anibrebre se bia mani bro because those great dynasties say na kan anibrebre o ha nka baakofo betena nimde no so ana baakofo tena nimde no so nso na nka owu ya nka saa I want to so ni niam akese om ye no nka mu ntimi nye but one thing is again the influx of Western education. It preaches individualism. And to high cry away to say Elon money, all these big guys see. So unim kwanya obefa so be shine ebia Oracle una asia obeye.
Oh yeah.
He will be at the top. Microsoft in kwanya obefa so be shine Apple ase completely obeye just to be at the top. And no ana eba yenso system na you go school. Fine, almost say you about class. Now, why is it that changing na yankasi be we are the first? We are say automatically it miku obi sunsum. That Western education and also the division abayem. And when you say Ghana for ye in the pabako. But we say, oh, yeah, DNA say, but I can't know. Me assure says sana ne o anka Ghana cranking to me to be do you know. Kemet says sana ne tie say, oh, yeah, the way for. I don't think there would have been that cohesion, that unity for them to progress. And when the Asian way so now you say me be never 1 million should freely give. And I want to hear chira. And now so go to mission and legend each say, oh, me person make one say me person will be whom secret. Oh, secret by what secret are you hiding if it is wealth? So be what a person will be share. Chireno. No so ntimi fan bobra because say so nya budget na one sense you dey ho e ja tony dey no ba told him if you have something and you don't teach others na say okohiem no obedane arm robber obedane gang leader that's also not the beba and that is why
the baba worry over
yes or the baba worry over that is why at that time omuni said that wealth was communal it is a miminya of abefienya legend enya legend anti-tilianya. That is what they practice. It's more cointy. I believe when we also put up that practice, it will really help us.
Wow. I'm saying a topic very deep, decoding generational world lessons from African dynasty. I know say
me the book no link to chat it's now man phobus and timpacho only legend patron wait me up to more yeah.
Lessons from African dynasty. I'm saying that expectation was to talk about money. And expectation them say if he say because can some yes and it with them say breaking it down. I'm in the link not to tea. I'm up for betting me as you and Ubina Kai say stick it to the point, maybe I won. Now starting time into time no. In a very quick and I say will be so at me and you be. Mr. Frimpong.
Yes, sir. Ejiamu, good evening. And then many aje topic no pa Mekai Misha at the age of 23, 24. We should move be my friend coming from America. I can know the phone crew. Na no one ni hundi. Ukodi obi ma so na asa nkwaye ewoni mu. Nti sama mo discuss no enye ide yankopon hyiram. Mr. Oben the bia said the kana kwa gu prempon enye black sheriff de ni bia ko port mine. Mr. Oben yankopon hyiram. Anse so bia ba contract kese pa o so hia ko port na enye ide nyoma fama in person seminar review ya besan so aye na CV no nukreni me de me hu hiem na nipa ne ba nukreni contract in the name de maya ma na ichina na de me balance abreme ti ya da mase yankubo nsham obi nso nka ne de me da
that's it. Short. Don't say the kwakuye no. Sa. It's better.
Yo, ede me chache busiafo nyina. Dame so ben sabe fine. Yeni abema. Ayene ne programming. Nyame shama ne mo bibi yeni ama ye hunu. Yeni aba ye ho so. na sene can say yes bubi say if you want to talk to a person in another language na yes e konitrim, but if you speak to him in his language e kona koma ho ebi na ye ken kasa na ye kan nyina na ye kan ye kurum kasa intine eno intina ama encheche we nyina na ewba ewura ye say ebia nkekoye brofo kasa ka ye nte de ye kanase ba enam se eye ye kasa no yetimi ti ase dom suko no ntino etimi ma ye ti ase etimi dwen ho mienu mi ehunu de wo se ye enti nyame enhira mo se ne musika generation ayi no eni age ho pa na emi se ye kan bibi se ye ma ye no wo mo etie nyina na se yetimi bomoden yetutu kwan na ye ma entimi nka ye krum kasa ne ade ya mamre ne ya mane bebre wo ho a wo mu nnim because yesua de na yenim se ya broso ba bia ye duru no eni kwan se ye cheche ye ma no ntinu hu ebi mu ase de osini wo ma ekasa ne ade no ye ne krese ekoso pa na yemfa nya futu emfa nante especially yan yetu kwan ema titiriu yemfa entu ye hofo se enye we entimi mwa ye mane niye entine eni kwan se wo fere wa mamre ne wa mane wo ba bibiara wo bia no utwi kasa na wo kan se kasa wo kan wo krum no bomoden se obe kasa kire wo ma na wo krum ha me ne Cameroon bi na wa onde ne bamba me fie omunti omuni krum kasa ba akokora sei brofo ho na omoka nti omba ha me ka twi nti me de twi na me kan nti wunti a wuntimi ne mentina me fie me ba bia ne ho a woka brofo no okosu wo ba German wonka bi me no omuntimi nka no omuntimi nka wo fie twi na na omoka ntimi de omko fie a ye bisa omo se me ma na metete wo mo wo hefa na me tete wo mo abroche so omo ka twi wo ka twi we se wo kan rensem abeka se tete ne Ghana because wo ya ade a metia wa me de brof me de twi na betia metia wo so a wo beti de meka na because mentimi mfa kasa kuro no kasa metia nti me dig me krom kasa na me de tete me ma nti yemfa sa de wenya de sua nyema ye mane hunu ba bia ye firi e wosa ye ma ye mane enso ani gi e wo ba bia omoko so what ase e beboa ye pa se de esi church generational ayi no e beboa ye papa ye especially ye ye tutu kwan a ya to ya mamre ne ya mane atwene na ye ma no ye ma ye de brofo e na etete wo mo utimi hu obi a kuro a wo so no ekuro ne kasa nko a na woka wonka hwe wonte hwe ukatwi a wonte ase na ohwe wanim saa edentia because maame no e kasa kasa na ofi ni kunu kasa kasa na ofi edi ensua trapa ne yepe a wo se ye de saa de we ehihye ye ho so me pacho wo na me bisa se me wo question se ni yesu suansi amamre ne amane yi ekoba ne se sisi ye wo se awofo nso de to ye ho se wo se ye cheche man ye ne ye nka ye nkanifo ye ne ye di kan ye wo se ye cheche ye man because obi ntimi me nsa wo awofo ho nkokere wo ba no amamre ne wamane ne koba ne se wo maame ne ana awofo no unnimu a ede na wo se wo ye afa ye nsuku mu nso so se ne yesi kirekire yi sisi ye pese ye mane hunu because enim se ye yiedie ni ye kanko nyina egina ya mamre ne ya man ye nimu ni nyina emu na se so obedi ye egina wa mamre ne wa man ye se ohunu ni nyina ansa na watimi adi yi ye busa wo ye suku nu mu a ye man ye nkyerɛkyerɛ saa ne ye man ni se bisa se ye be ye dan e na ye man atimi ehunu ana ye wo suku bi wo ha ya ye de asi honom se ho de ye wokwa ye kyerɛ mamre ne aman ye se ne ba ye man so betimi ehunu e wo ho e kosa e na me bisa so mbetimi aboa me kakra apart from say awofo no so wunimu ade na wo beye because obi wo ha ama onim Ghana ho bibia wonim hwe wonim de wo se wo ye ono wo tu kwan kra na osa e na wakobo ne bra wo ba bi na wo no wo ba wonim hwe be da na wo hu no wa cheche ne ba afi nsuku nsusu ensumu no ye osuku bi wo ha wo betimi de wo manako na se bi ni ho a ede na wo se wo ye because wo pese wo ma no ohun nko awofo untimi nye ede na wo se ye nye ntimi famwa ye mano so no munso hunu ya mamre ne ya mane no sisi a ye decode ye ne man ye decode uyen wealthy ede na ekwan ba so na wo se ye fa esese ye bo ye timi hunu ni nyina anya sa ebe ha yen bebre awofo no eme se ebu ha nimdi a woni munti na ma na ye sa wonim bu ha ne ye kan Ghana nsem a ye keka nyina wonim hu hwe nti on de ono de ope na wo so ye kwan ba so na ebe fa ebe timi ehunu ne timi atete ye ma no na yɛn nso so yɛbɛtumi ehu sɛnea yɛbɛtumi adi yie wɔ mu sɛnea yɛkan farming system yɛmfuo sɛnea yɛsi yɛmfuo sɛnea yɛsi kasa sɛnea yɛdi aduane sɛnea yɛsi tena ase sɛnea yɛsi siesie yɛn ho sɛnea yɛsi kasa ne nyinaa ɛyɛ ne nteteyɛ a wɔsɛ wo fam ansa na watumi adi yie wɔnhu na wontumi nni yie wɔ mu da efisɛ no na yɛ nananom nyinaa nam mu kwan a sɛnea yɛsi kasa yɛ nana ɛde gold ne ayi tutɔ ne nsa ne ade yɛbɔ duku ne ade nyinaa ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nteteyɛ a yɛnyae na wonim a bɛyɛ dɛn na wahu ekosa na mibisa edamasi nyame hya me nim sɛ mo nyina mbɛyi ma no edamasi Mr. Oben na me yɛ adom a program no so yɛhyehyɛ so dendenden paa yɛba butu yɛmfa ni agro nyame hya mo bebree edamasi.
I think say when it comes to any day, I think Mama Riwo tree program be right. Ana
Tree class.
Your tree class on ma obetimi joining na betimi mo asua we. School no dey emphasis o England na wo ayi your friends in Australia over here. Who konya tree school no. It's online dey na be na nye you be bre ho. You be amafo be bre o ma churches ani ama na opese usua o man kwara ne sua tree na obetimi mo asua. Na history ni aden kakra usu na so chiro. Mama read
so wonnim no say we here because we twen afiri de ye ho se be obetime die so afa ye bibia eni ntina omo konko asomu no sesa omo din ka cho so wontimi nka okrom kasa sesa won son wo trinwi kura na pem ye bu bebebe nyina na ye system abrofo yusu ye we so wo de no de anti broni wo hia obi a ne trinwi ye mpesa won be o
Any be crowd the show crampo
bakasa on kilipa chira se wo no tuntu no wontimi mo pesa ye kurom Ghana
instead of breaking.
Yeah, kwaka for na say winti no omadwa. What's on network no.
You were here for yourself.
Yeah. I think that Auntie Albert usually some information we there. It will be hard so benya obi say bia when ya time say or share and also say nti say video ye see no. Sometimes here obitimi kra na nkra no atena ho ahwe. There are other people also shows more cancer you want papa be a friend of Anthony Browder or talk more about this histories and I feel so your best and immediate way of being information here through books, honestly through books until your books are hold be or your book be or your link be a gather books be or Mr. Opambo or gather books be brave or a PDF version because our books you hard copies no can unya and it is unya access to that link and I'm happy to share the link for both meet me and Ashama na will be your person or reading more about history and saying it has to start from reading books honestly now Fabia one kasa all search you on YouTube now but say obenyu be pass ebia why you that say or tray you need it can be hard so books and watching videos online but most importantly reading books so more parking can there about history inside need the now feel YouTube on so amamre ni amane ho anema bebre YouTube they can start watching from there and then they should also visit Ghana. That is the most important. They should visit Ghana and experience it.
As I would only take his guy very. So we better say. As I will visit Ghana, F5, you call Ghana that 2,000 a year as a temper. Who said that for? So we better say, Mama really link no. Because link no the mommy, I'm some food be submitting their tomb now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
BBC said there just one out in Hunduma, one I was searching. And this time soon as a school now yet the work on Woody a year there be way no one I was so more any break. Now was searching. Now they mom.
Pacho Martin da sepa. Na me ka say ebi asisi no o me plan say nka me pese me do mo befi. But obi a school a pese mo de won say school na ko say brofo nkwa na yeka. E na sa ne ma no so ye nkyere wo school. Enti ne be dem me nso me pese mo hunu. What I say although me ye ma fa me de but obi ko school no on ti bibia sa wo ho. Ninti na na ma
school no dey say omukọ Ghana school na ti say here ade nti wa na wo so wo yes ade no.
okay. Okay. That's it.
Patchoma more links na msa manfo bi senti no. Three class no na say you know. And till you kasa yente wo kasa o.
Our phone.
Kasa no phone pa.
Our phone. Yep, Abba.
I feel all they are too mute. Okay. I'm say no say
Pacha,
okay. I feel you too kasa.
I make us say Ghana dear, obetumi private teacher ama omo a. Obetumi omo say history ni tree no a tetenka nye course le kura. Nanka the sister akoso dear no. Omo nya maaye na kodo omo ka class no. Because so omo ka class no mesu aka omo te kasa no dear. Omo betumi abisa questions and ase maame no kura betumi aka bibi kwan mu niema a opɛ sɛ ɔmo hu no but sɛ Ghana deɛ obenya teacher ama wɔn kama yeah obenya private teacher ama wɔn yeah
Okay, that's it. Na mpacho link na ya na ma share ma kakra you know online.
Pacho, I don't know just what's sending Marie number into the number better. That's sending the message.
Okay.
And this is kasa
ayo na me ka sɛ for some reason bere kasa na na me twerɛ to ha sɛ na woman so abɛbisa na me ka sɛ wɔ sɛ Mr. Oben nneɛma egu so dɔɔso but sɛ ɔbɛnya ahoɔden anka ɛwɔ sɛ wotumi bie school bi a yɛfrɛ no ɛka ne sɛ Wealth Creation Academy and na yɛde history no so aka ho because ansa na nka yɛ mma ɛbɛwie school na sɛ ɔma no na mu asuasua saa agyank yɛgu wɔ mu tiri mu ɔyɛ no nka akora no wie junior high pɛ na kɛde no akɔ hɔ nti nka ɔhɔ saa school no deɛ ɔkɔsua ne sɛ ɔkɔsua history no ɔsan asua wealth creating no so ɔfiri school no mfiri mu no na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnam sɛ yɛnni bi wɔ yɛ system no mu so wo sɛ wokae wo so yɛnkyerɛ yɛn kwan yɛbɛfa so ayɛ saa adeɛ no akreti wei no nti sɛ nkɛnya school bi for saa nka ɛbɛboa paa nti no teachers so deɛ nka teachers a wɔn a ɔbɛn daako ayi mu a ɔyɛ wɔn teachers no wɔn a bɛtumi kura saa akyerɛ adeɛ wɔ hɔ ama na ɔsɛ amontemenka
oh yeti auntie Silieto
okay nti no nka bɛboa ɛna afɛ so na menka bibi sɛ dressing na asɛm a na Mr. Oben ka no sɛ wohwɛ mo paa ayi nipa tuntum baabi a yɛyɛ firi no ebi akatafo kurom abɛgu ha akura sɛ wɔmutumi ɛyɛ wɔn ho kamakama sɛdeɛ na Mr. Bɛɛfi ka no aborɔfo no wɔn hyɛ n'anim hwee saa o wɔn hyɛ n'anim hwee saa obetumi anya sika ɛkɔ ɔhe bɛyɛ sɛ wɔwɔ sika panson dress onim sɛ saa nneɛma no nyinaa ne na kɔ together nti yɛn no we have everything it's just that wɔn ayi so media no ɛde ade ato fam ekohyia maame bi wɔ Sam's Club na mewura hɔ papa which is I think it was Sunday and hyia no Sam's Club hyia no pɛ na mekɔ akɔtɔ new eyeglasses na obi saa me sɛ mekasa na ɔsɛ meyɛ Ghana ni na mse a meyɛ Ghana ni ɛna ɔsɛ oh saa na o glasses yɛhyɛ wɔ ayɛ den to bisabisa m kɔhyɛ na m so mebɛkɔ Ghana metu kwan akɔ Ghana nti nka mepɛ new glasses prescription ne ade ɔsɛ na Ghana deɛ ɔkɔyɛ den ɛna mbisa sɛ mekɔyɛ den sɛsɛn me bɛɛ kurom 40 years ni o na me deɛ Ghana deɛ na wɔ Ghana mete sɛ obi kɔ Ghana ɛna mbisa sɛ when was the last time I called Ghana? Or so one day on Krano, one for factory or Ghana. One we school or Ghana now, but I'm now they say, well, they Ghana too for me, dear, serious. School banner we or Ghana, so or nursing school. And I'm saying to we nursing, oh, yeah, Juma, oh, there be me, Yana, me baha. And I'm saying, one year service, couldn't to ya, a canna, I buy the share one. Also, send here. Me kunu me ye eye doctors and saying,
Optician.
no ni kunu so ye doctor. Enti no, on the 40 years, I'm sister yanko yachi. 40 years, near 40 years into once. The same who say we school, no, dear now your ma Ghana and sana, who film. Aye, yeah, any opportunity, and I'm so opportunity in a bin near him. Ghana now they to form no. Send one year school Ghana wa. And ka buy no ka science awe and send no idea remua Eddie Ababa doctor also share ni. Aye, wuni niema ya Ghana ho. Ghana de obi antumi nya Ghana you. Nyame pe ne betumi aye Ghana ye. Na say America. Nyame na ya America ye. Pese o chire mi mu. Nyame ena ya America ye anase nipa wo man ni mu ne. I said no the government in was so and I'm say government be how many private sectors, private companies near wo kurim. It is a wo kasa wo de Ghana to for me. So wo ye offer mu de. And I kunu ye doctor no ye na fa mu de a enka Ghana empeja. Entimi nko nani. And Ghana de obi an ho betimi aye na sister.
Now can just say wabo Ghana krono. One year service.
And ya meneno. What to mama no matoma na me catch and say unim. Mo oh after what you mean time so when yakwa ko bedi di matem. Me say mo nkofo bi say munti na nkofo mu Africa. Na another doctor back in nchen. Now say yes, it's you. Because look at the way I would Ghana to form. So Ghana nema we education. I would ya be krom ha to us. So many African countries. So many countries in Ghana. Umu Ghana ye. Enti baby a friend dear a bit more adwene a hard dream papa panti ye dey try you see about this year even cross or this year by your program na say me course na me tie the way a ebi mu omu Ghana omu hunu nyina ye YouTube enti the course wo YouTube na no omu de jaje Ghana se ne Ghana city enti ye betena kwantu omu ne ya nkoa saa because
Auntie Tilly Unim Ghana de yenkwa na yempe ho asemu first time I'm metina play munam ye ko Asia ko fa ne ma beton me ne madam fo ye ti play ni mana other French speaking countries for na no mutim no hwe ya say ye French speaking for ni bi hwe ya see you Ghana yes no mani agi ni ma ko he madam fo nanim go bo ma boda mana say o mani agi so mo hu Ghana fo well, see, we are see me free this West African country, Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, I'm saying, oh, so you know a little bit about us. Yeah, you need to fire who, and you throw on a jinchia. So yeah, and jinchia, no, you move your hosa. So I'm buyen, but you move. This yeah, they want to form.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, want to say, let me copy a video. Biswa Nigeria for young men who my whole video motiti Nigeria passport. Nigeria is a bad country. Nigeria is no motiti omukitabo passport no mutitim. So I hardly so be Ghana near what Ghana passport say. Now say Mr. One year or saying Okita he passport ya no de Ghana to for me ni petro another pa. It is all hemo pa. Yanya bad sa. But in one more I don't know. We do see her. I think that must say was not for.
Yeah, Pia. Yeah, like kati. I'm crying because I'm say Danso.
Mr. Danso, yes.
Danso, okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that Danso? Na
Ah,
eko say.
Example.
Eko say.
Oh, you go there. Yeah, boy, Juma.
YouTube channel ni ade na eko kama.
Oh, nyame adom e papa.
Okay.
Ya kona. Manya I studio light na me to be near set up. I just said me and I just na say.
It's a mistake. Eko say. Maybe I story ni dosu. Kwesi every one go fix am.
Me have
Me
a grab
set
ye
up.
kakra.
Me tena mo na mas na bibia be bu na mas so.
That's all. Pe kora bi robo
Me
yeba. Let it you because.
yes
Legend, me pacho
yes
bet ma
me
post
yes
books no PDF ni link na to you know me send ye ba manfo busa.
Abi dey atumu.
Okay.
But it been so we free Legend YouTube ni nti omo so busa.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
Me
Mr.
da
Danso.
to.
Sorry.
So that's cool. Me person next time we back now.
Yo, where there?
What fix it, you know. Why? Yeah, of course.
Oh, me. Is it I do 1 week wo me me fix it. There was me na me ma boys be ma me. Where there me better must say topic and that do the ho hia pa. Ya mamre no. E mu bi de nke ya nsia Legend na nke nim say mamre no ho hia but you sua no. Faso ade abre ndi bebre. Amasisi a no ugina ba bia na ho kasa. Oh, to me. Na kasa no so to me di akiri. And me na ba ko afiri mu a ya na ye di abubu nti me fa ba ko frɛ me fi Germany na ye kasa. In fact obi de motor ball no nti ofrɛ me na say Ghana ho de sa mra nya aduma na wo so fa Germany ho a wo nti accident is yo obi a mfa ka mo obi ana sign accident any crime a ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔ yi nti ano de unhu bi ana hɔ no ntie hɔ news nti na yɛ sɛ sɛnea yɛde yɛ man toto fam ya ebia na ɛkɔ so na menya adagye ne kasa paa bɛyɛ 30 minutes afei na ogyina phone so di na so wɔfa ti a oti hɔ yi okɔ aburochi na mesua na me yakɔla sɛ hɔ baabi a mani adu so menhu ade titiri bi a ɔabɛyɛ nti ti a ɔti hɔ yi mfa so ɔbɛn nkɔla nam so
What's that poetry for with you? With your family too.
tabi na mani abre na awerɛho mba na anibere so so aba because abusua no yɛ abusua no kɔyɛ aburokyiri sɛ wɔn nko a nti biribi si wɔ fie a wonhyɛ da nya panyin biara mpanyinfo a aka no baako a ɔno odi mu ɛna sesei atorɛ nkyɛn ya bɛfa no kɔ nti na anibere aba na ɛwɔ sɛ metumi mmea mani na mekeka ma adwen nti meka ya mene ne gye akyinyi a na msɛ hwɛ nea ɛwo hu sisi a no ɛnyɛ yɛn o obi na de biribi ayɛ na nkɔpem so yɛn ni bɛba yɛn ho so na msɛ wo sisi a wo kan wote Germany wode Germany ɛtoto Ghana ho sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo systems yɛ adwuma na systems na ɛyɛ adwuma no wonim nkoasom a yɛn yakɔ mu de ama ɔmo wonim bra a yɛn yabrɛ ama ɔmo a ɔmo ahyehyɛ ɔmo systems a ɔmo de yɛ adwuma na deɛ wode twa yɛn boɛ na system no koraa a ɛyɛ adwuma no wo te hɔ wo mɛtena ha bi na wo nso so waboa ama yɛn nso so yɛayɛ deɛ ne yi nti na wo ka akɔsi sɛn deɛ tire deɛ na adane lecture na ayɛ one way meka koro ntumi nka bi na ne nyinaa so ne sɛ sɛ yɛhu ɛna sɛ yɛsua nti o kasa a woni baabi a wo ka akɔdu na nipa no so hyɛ aseɛ sɛ ɔwɔ kasa a na wahu n'adwen baabi koro ɔno nso ka akɔ akɔsi eti yɛbɛda ase na yɛaka sɛ yɛgu so a yɛsua deɛ nanso so ɛwɔ sɛ afoforo so ehu nea yɛn nso kakra na yɛhu no yɛsa ɛsɛ afoforo so hu so mfa so eti ɛnyɛ easy because bebree na saa adwen mu tie yɛ ɔmo nyanyae na ɛnam so ɔmo nyanyae no so nti no wo ne ɔmo kasa na so wo ne ɔmo hyia na sɛ mo nkita hodie no ɛa na nkɔ yie because ɛsia a ɔte hɔ yi na setena a ɔte mu sɛsie nkɔ yie na mɛkyerɛ no sɛ nti sɛsie a waba Ghana ɛna wote ha nka bɛbu ada wodan a wote mu koraa wo so nkonnwa koraa wontumi mfa bi nsi because dan no mu sa
adwuma na de dan na ma wo nti se si a na adwuma no efiri wo nsa a dan no so efiri wo nsa nti na te out ho no ofa so be na wo so nti wa bagana ha na wabu ada na afi ofa ayemre ofa edi a se na ofa se na lecture so nti arewosem nti and that in fact ase na minim say bibi say na ye ba besua ne nne because ha adwen yenkrofo no bebre e ko ahohiahia nneɛma nsɛm a ɛmfata ato wɔn a wɔn gu so wɔn mia wɔn ho ahyɛ mu ɔtim a ɔno koraa ka ato so sɛ aborɔfo a ɔne wɔn yɛ adwuma a binom akɔ retirement sɛ ebi mu koraa deda abɔnten ɛnam sɛ ɔno koraa ɔte ne kurom ɔda abɔnten na Ghana ha nipa dodoɔ sɛ na ɛda abɔnten ɛnam sɛ me nana hwɛ fie a osii yɛ a ansa na wɔwu hwɛ abusua fie sese koraa yɛn nyinaa yɛ ni hɔ dan deda hɔ ayie ba na mu yɛ ma but ɔmo system no nte saa nti deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo kyɛn so ba we mu nyinaa no sɛ biribi antie mfiri wɔ adwene mu a unhu ne nyinaa so mfa so unhu wobɛkɔ so de wo ho atoto fam saa ebi so wonim amammerɛ wonim nti wonim baabi a wofiri baeɛ wonim ne ɔwokura mu koraa kɛyɛ nsase a yɛte so baabi a kaa kwan koraa a yɛnam so yi pɔtoo ɛbɛtɔ hɔ na sɛ aburo firi tɔ mu a na afifi ɔho nso kɔ baabi a yɛsɛ yɛhyɛ da yɛ anwea ansa na adua adeɛ wɔ mu nso yɛde nyame ama bi hɛ yɛtwa nsuo kura ama no aba yɛ water table no yɛ such a way sɛ nsuo a yɛwɔ underground no yɛbɛtumi de ayɛ irrigation all year round all year set coastal areas no nko a mpona no kakra bi na ɔmo deɛ no yɛ salty a ɛbɛha adwen yɛ a yɛwɔ every middle belt a akɔsi north deɛ yɛwɔ nsuo bebree yɛbɛtumi de ayɛ all year round farming wei nyinaa yɛnim wei nyinaa yɛbu no abɔmfia na yɛkra nneɛma a yɛdi de ba na yɛte bibi ɛte sika kɔkɔɔ so anaasɛ yɛte nneɛma so ɛbɛboa yɛ ama yɛtumi ayɛ saa deɛ wei koraa sɛ ayɛ sport bi akɔ amono ne akɔgye ho sika na obi a ɔno yɛ anwea ɛwɔ dɛm ɛwɔ lab ɛtumi dua vegetables brɛ wo ma wɔwɔtɔ di na system bɛɛ na yɛra no nti mpanyinfoɔ wei deɛ mɛma mekasa ngɔ bebree ɛnam ayɛ very emotional nti mɛgya ama obi so aba na
That's what
wabɛto ase
what the
nokora ne deɛ
what the abema officer what the
maka pa manka kora nga me ho nto
that's Max 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 o kasa yentio se o kasa okay
hello
kasa yentio
oh okay,
yes,
okay. Oh, okay. Good evening. Obia for your friend Max. Menina na ya na waha na say waboko, but Miankasa no mimpie into no meaning Matana Virginia have 15 years. Most people don't know me. But I have been following. I have been following the series from day one. Actually, Nanaya started, I was one of those people who was jostling him on the concept. And yes, I was skeptical about the Ghanaian attitude. So, but he persisted. I would say that I'm very, very encouraged and very proud of his tenacity. He's very tenacious. So I discussed a few things with him. We share ideas every now and then. And I wanted to officially come and also introduce myself to the folks here. I've been here for 15 years, like I said. Before I made Virginia, I was in Florida for another 10 years. And, total, I've been 25, and I want to go back.
Because this was 25.
Yeah. I want to go back. and I've been planning to go back for a while now. I have a lot going on in Ghana, and I'm one of the few people that you see, and I won't talk unless you're very close about what I'm doing. But I have stuff going on in Ghana. A lot of them are in incubation stage. I've been at it. I've been at it seriously for about 5 years since 2020. In fact, when COVID hit, that was when I decided to
How's it? Go for the dosu.
I'm also switching country, man.
I'm going to go to
oh,
Yɛnte hwee.
ah,
Makyɛw.
Hey, go for the dosu.
oh, Miss Sam, okay, but you,
Your friend is a big pond for tilapias.
Oh, I'll come to that. Not me personally,
Yeah,
mommy whole
big one,
introduction. So it's okay. Mess up was that make can I say, but I could be the film my brother, ever film my number the acheme. It's now me cancer me person me call back into me start here about 5 years ago. So me yeah the groundwork. Me passion here two areas: agriculture and music. Yeah, the agriculture and me. I was the Crofona secondary school, primary school cry. Third time, yeah, mama senior the me cry. Me complain, yeah, me now for ball and I'm in my room. Yeah, there. I mean, I said that should be a sober bound for summer. It's that has been my passion. My ventures now, me interested in is all centered around agriculture. So far, I have started with one, which is the fish farming. I started with Eastern region, and me model, not me person me BBR complete. I am the kind of guy I'm believing in starting something haphazardly. Na me person me BB standardized and some officially me can't say be a me BB. Me nature no. So I didn't shut down standard be me feel say any. Into the last couple of years, me tried the concept of fish farming, and I'm a aquaculture consultant, Bia Obuame, and the Eastern Regional Director of Fisheries. Okufodia, me site waterfall, one with Nimsa area. So Ufri Kufodia call Linda Door, which is the trunk road that connects Kufodia to Accra main road. A far or pass Kukurantumi Junction. I have a building there. It is the tallest building in the area. My plaster in painting here. Dunham Highway, a 4-story building by the highway. That's my building. And directly behind the building, I have about 6 plots of land. And I'm a track Takradia pond, I have 450 feet by 30 feet ponds. 4 of them. I combine 2 into 1. So there are 3 ponds there if you get to that area. My wall so from the street and about on the slope. So if you get down, you get to the ponds. So that's where I must start the pilot. And to say that I make earlier on, my person may bring something to the standard into my ponds, even though I earthen pond, me all the piping, which means we were piping for inflow into the ponds, my piping for outflow, and my piping for overflow. So anyway, we're not holding me back because over the pipe will be to form all the connections. So far, I have finished with all that infrastructure. My person may want it out now, me holding people into my person may run it through, but I will have a detailed, if there's any questions, I'll have a detailed presentation of what's going on. All the 4 ponds, I started the pilot for catfish and tilapia. So far, they were good. I've had a few challenges, but so far, I'm very impressed with the output. Marketing, was a little shaky, but who say networking with time and be home. Flyers going out here and there. So far, so good. I'm not in any way uncomfortable with the marketing. But there's work to do. Yeah, in Ghana, the attitude is and I'll share one very quick thing. Me ton me tilapia no. O ton the raw, they sell it by weight. It the size of the fish and the quantity determines how much money. But me strategy be me quantity kakra and I'm then share hon I'm hatai. Me ni Kobe myself. Me sika me free Kobe kakra anymore was almost the amount na me ton raw no. Which brought to mind something that we've been talking about, adding value to agricultural produce. Kobe kakra me share no Kobe ni a ton of single, you ton by weight. Into me for back one, me to make us 20 Ghana. Whereas at 20 Ghana, it would have been about 15 of the live fresh fish because you're ton by weight. And 1 pound is like 20 Ghana or 25. Whereas you could be back one between 20 Ghana. So that is something that I have come to the realization, say, if you want to do fish farming and you have any insight, let's talk. I have done the infrastructure, but what I want to present Waha quickly is that if there's anybody who has the interest to get into fish farming, maybe you need pond, maybe you need all those things. I have all the infrastructure. Besides the pond, maybe pumps, both gasoline pumps, electrical pumps, and solar pumps. I have aerators. Aerates provide oxygen to the water. Me water testers. Me fish nets for harvesting, for sorting. The good thing is that maybe site na Americano stream with chain. There's a stream. The oil free area, there's the barrier stream at Damasas in chain. So I have unlimited constant supply of ensure for the pond. And me mention the fisheries director for Eastern Region, Mr. Osei. Wabe testing ensure who said the quality is very good. Stream with Ankasakra no tilapia ne catfish naturally. And Chrome no be fish from the stream on the regular. They be an because Mr. Sombabi we am a fish. So or say my site is one of the most very prominently suited site for fish farming. And I'm say me quite sorry, Ben. I'm so me said I'm quite sorry, but me bump every day. So in a nutshell, my plan, let's say, if you want to get into the business, but we need any of the facilities as I've talked about, come talk to me. Me will cycle 6-month cycle. Yeah, fish now it takes a maximum of 6 months. All we do is that you invest into the fish and the feed. We come into an agreement. You get a percentage of your investment every 6 months. If you want to repeat a cycle with me, we do that. If you want to take your money and walk, you can do that. But at least I want to provide the infrastructure for anybody interested in that business. If you have your own land and you can do it all well and good, I will help you with all the experiences that I may have to give you the best output. But if you also feel so we need the, but we are interested, you want your money to work for you, this is the model I have. Every 6 months, if some starting cycle now, you have to wait until my turn. There were 4 ponds. I'm going to have tilapia and catfish alongside because I want to diversify my portfolio of fish. Say your starting cycle, then you may have to wait if I have enough people for that cycle. Each pond, will take a maximum of 10,000. 4 ponds, will be 20,000 for catfish at the point and 20,000 for tilapia. Maybe one extra space I'm able to a fit pond, which I'll do next 2 weeks. In fact, the same Mr. Oseno is the one providing all the manpower for 2 pond, and dress the ponds. I see next 2 weeks the boys will be ready. And if they make the fit pond in the back, that would open one extra cycle for anybody interested. And make a Nana, I'll say I'm going to pilot that with this group and see how it goes. And if it's works out
Hello.
that we would increase the numbers. Now, the last thing is that the
Oh, sorry.
Tafo site, you know,
Just few minutes. I'm in for a back. Why? Me wrap
okay,
up on the Zoom program.
okay.
Let's not for back.
So the last thing is that the site in Tafo, which is a pilot, you know, is a much smaller site. There's a much bigger site at our central region, which is where I really want to have that dream, you know, actualized. It's a 40 plot site. I just concluded the documentation and everything. The plan is that if this model works out, I would extend to the central region where I have these ponds and go through the same cycle like Miya or Tafono. So this is the nutshell of what's going on. The agriculture is just one aspect of the business, but for now, no, I will limit the discussion here with the fish pond. But there are other ventures that I'm also involved in. Like I said, you know, the passion is music, agriculture, and in between music and agriculture, no, I have some other things going on. But and I discuss well. So I wanted to be as brief and also leave the floor for any questions if anybody wants to have anything clarified. Mr. Mobrofo no mentimi I'm fan check to the mo fan chem chino so
Yeah.
if there's any question.
Yeah, many your friend saying many max be Wednesday paradigm shift. Eti what question about me aba na oye niam bebre also for say oni amanfo ye collaboration bebre niam de bebre am say fish pond no ka ho say.
Yeah, I mean
minya kamene ne all started or the be group so o kana na ya na ya me say nipa be say
obi e friend Patrick yen de your friend na ya because obi can for the yinim na na ya
so eti paradigm shift e be share ho Wednesday na obey episode or church name episode so many of them na wa pese we no ye way no join it that's my the numbers na no episode no join tilapia no max me no na start here we say academy dey breme
me package could be bia bro, don't worry.
Is a could be so there ne boy dey had you okay that's it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah up here Anna say Mr. Danso Akasa yeah up here hey na
morning
who's your visit
yeah na yanu for the one na adena article
yeah
the chair busafo yina the chair panimfo so ben salute
Yes, our boss.
welcome morning yeah me lecture abako o call lectures
morning even at home at the morning
me lecture abako o call lectures 8 p.m. cry medical school no chia good afternoon I say still afternoon nti eno anu no so ko ba bi so ade ache nti eno anu aha legend Zabafi generational wealth so be ya beti ase legend na no ka say yedie kan yedie a enye sika nko a na pomuden ka ho influence a wo society mo ka ho respect a yede ma wo impact a wo make wa pomuden titru na said ye wo feel at peace ewo mu enti say na ye extend echo the generation no dia na che say na nye nipa ba kope ana say nye wo nko na obenya sa benefit we nyina wo say wasefo nyina na che say discussion no na ye de awia ne sa ana say edimu enti leje me question ni say wasɛm a wo kan nyinaa sɛdeɛ wo kyerɛkyerɛ mu wo deɛ wo se na kyerɛ sɛ yɛntumi ndi yie wɔ abra a yɛwura fi yɛn nkyi o ana anyɛ saa na akan
So I did.
Nti me say mbisa no sɛ yɛ mu na asisi a no yɛto nnwom bi sɛ nananom som abosom na yɛndi yɛbɛsom Yehowa. Nti saa nkurɔfoɔ yi a yɛto saa nnwom yi yɛdie no yɛbɛnya bi anaa yɛayera anaa yɛne mpampa no so.
And yes, I see you now more course right.
Na yɛ nana na ɔno no ɛnam ne so ne nimdeɛ mu onyinsɛn yɛ a wanyi yɛn ngu ɔmo time koraa no na ɔmo nim sɛ Jatropha ɔmo plant bi ɔmfrɛ no Jatropha saa plant no ɔmo nim sɛ yɛ very potent ɔmo ka na abortifacient kyɛ sɛ etumi yi ba. I was so much the right answer or you say any. Nim say it me cause abortion. They knew it, but they did not use. And I say I no be about no man you say abortion no crazy illegal. I'm more the away you or mama yaba. Yeah, buy and yes, or more soon na chiro almost says I'm no man in you. Yeah, say sabi yɛn kwase asɛm nti yɛdidi ɔmo atɛm saa no legend ɔmbɔ yɛ dua yɛnya yɛbɛyɛ yie.
Yeah, this are some number one. So by so be condemn wo ba bia ofiri a enye nyame som no de buy enye Kristo som no de buy o kuta na agenda dada. Was a Paul call as book of Acts was ma mase me be bom sobro ba sem be kire mu nyame na muni ne dada no kwezi broni wa Africa sa agire o se ye de bibia anye mi wa so na no mo so som bosom na bi wan condemn mo ne de ese ne na mo so bosom mechanism o mo use ye ne enkrofo ne de sum o te ha na odwen se na nanom som bosom na wo na obekọ heaven you dey call heaven so on say so bre because the nyanza na ye di ye wa ha no wo condemn ba bia free a win you bro no onim sa o ma wo condemn ho a nko onim da eno kre waka to say why na catch there say wo kwa asoro na o hia bro ni asan ko no o hia nyame why na kan
kwasi broni
yeah o Bible muza
Davi.
Yes. Into ono wo fa bibi no odi bibi fa ho. Wo the poison be no odi doko bi fa ho. The true gospel is no hatred of others and their culture. The true gospel is no hatred. To be my po wa mamre baby all free within a condemn on and more. And your gospel no they buy it with a different agenda to subjugate you. Inti uze yenko for say you akire. Idoko akura na se no nipa a wabosi to abota okuta Bible wabosi to be a say amoko no kwa so for no kwa ntuma no mfra bi. So
Mfra bi o. Ise omu po de omu ndi culture no so oba wa se no fight.
Omu ndi culture no kwa omu fanya hwe. And this aso for no ntimi nkyere wo yedie ma na nyeye. Because wa condemn no. Jopa hwe nkrofo mu di na chie. Emu do za na
Akwam ni nkyere mu.
Your identity. One kasa de oye no. Abrabe di yeda. De ntia wontimi eni ye ni because woni akokudro wo mu, woni gidie wo mu biem. Nipa bia wonye ne huni. Na wonye baby wo free eni na wo mu ho. Na wonfa ni die ma ho. Na won hu ne pe wo ho no. Wontimi nyeye. Eno ne sebe de omode ba. To mo condemn ye bibia. It will condemn who won't mean. That's the way. The best way to raise slaves is to condemn where they come from. and one who acquire the year.
Abi.
And I can tell you, so long as the for and I'm also preaches our message, you know. We preach here for the only
Ohia na no mo bo ho
Yeah, bro. How are you doing?
right.
Research? Guys, not mine. I don't take this type of bread.
Tabia,
Mo to
no.
mo
I
bo.
take
I can't you
so
how.
Nti omo koso ayi mem.
Aha.
Nti odi ohwe Ghana ni bi oti abro chiri bi ayi no ho ti se broni Tambia ayi no ho broni. Goye. Ozo omo na condemn Ghana no. Na why na bit ma condemn ba bi ofiri. Abra wodi ye.
Wadi.
Mind them ya. Arab fo ho. Arab ni wanya sika ho, wagye Arab bi. Wagye omkrofo de omjo omkroni. Ko China obi a watimi ahyehyɛ no ma ebi no is very proud Chinese. Ko America, very proud American. Britain, he said, how many Ghanaians? And also Madie. One more condemn we. And to be condemned, and just also be here. Indirectly, one can't tell, but that's it. Because who want the Papa Biao? Who want the Papa Biao? To own sorry, no more church. I want to say no more trouble for no. Headi para o hot do no ano bre. Pero pa ko check.
Wow.
Yeah, go check it. Okay, go check it. I'm sorry,
Lion.
I'm sorry. No. There's no heritage, sense of identity. I know a school no say they say.
Oh madam. Oh madam ambulance. Mitiana wow.
School no say they say yeah. Crack in here tembi opposite about Ghana buy am father juma what me just say. We need kukuduro. Oye na say pen na baba bu.
Oni so betumi adokoko aye.
Debi. We need respect to crowd. So I go school. No, na papa do koko. Or no go school no koko no grow muno. Because you're a secretary or you're an ambassador. And you're Ghana na ehwe no. Dan kra go zibi. The boy Kazamboa.
They pay 2,000.
Say, "Uyi Ghana free mo o mama bra." Chira me mu do say the one na pie ni mponche. School pen wo koye na Ghana na ehwe no. Because akukuduro e de chichiri yedie no. So one kasa watch it. You weave your own system. That one, if you're not strong and courageous, you can't do it. And how can you be strong and courageous if you don't know who you are? And not proud of where you come from? It's impossible. To the upper catch a fool come here. We Ghana free. Hey, where's a minister? Where you we busy. Omuntimisha share. Hey, Ghana, dear no animal tafre home. Telling you. Because the courage, the pride is not there. They don't know who they are. Until I was a generation, no. Omo kasa bia, oh, Kwame Nkrumah kra pre ho no kope independence ma ye no se koma brofun die so. Wahira. Brofun die so.
Some of the South Africa example.
That's right. South Africa ye didn't want him. Obroni sem. Sa brofun we be here over 200 and something years. Britain. Britain we had Portuguese for one by in 14th century. No mo na mpona no. Se nya asante na no mo koye, ko mo fa ye nyina no mo. Mo di ha no, ade papa be no mo ye, factory be no build there. School papa be university be no mo chichiri ya. And so obitimi sorry we ko school. The bofu se Kwame Nkrumah di ade na nim se ye nye fa ho die. Because onim no.
I said UGCC so self-governance within shortest possible time. I saw mukro no munye ready.
My boss sit up what I offer guy. Pause there. So once you know my go there, what you say broni nya ubonida? Because who geneti? And I crash for this is it. Omujo mudi. Kofo be brave of be if you want America. Omu broni di. And omu 10 year no mo condemn ye. Ghana ho dey say he ni ho. Ghana obi na no akasa bia no. Wayra. Kura me catch no. And be brave ti abrochire. And be brave ya crash for mo go university of Ghana. The brave professors. They are in their 60s. They break. Why? The history is not there. Be crying penny for a crumuha. Uno metani be Asia. Uno Mukasa. We are brantia now. You're at home. Because with this 70 hours and go to also a gin who didn't know gin mindy or cancer and papa fire. Who drew up an bottle? Telling you. So I could go and go make a be a professors. Or a professor in the education who Bruni desire to control him. Not the one that will give him freedom. That's why Nkrumah was different. Some of them knew the tradition and the culture, but not the Pan-African education. Where you saw the pride, wisdom.
Okay.
So, no more who your heritage.
Okay.
Nkrumah knew that. That's why he was strong.
Internal legend.
Yeah.
Just say,
who hear mu pa? Prince Kasana. The entire yeah Ghana and yeah who and Omo Kenya who Nkrumah normal is because in the books, you know, Ghana for banning. They ban his books. But the other African countries, they have his books.
They didn't.
No.
Okay.
So the depth of the book will be a kind. Whether you agree with the first 5 years, 6 years was fantastic. Yes, the first 4 years was fantastic. Actually, now I'm saying no, maybe a mixed year, but he was one of our best intellectuals. Very deep. And no, maybe I am for him. I hate you. Yes, I knowledge, you know. But no. Hope our penny book should be a kind. For you, piece I'm not on Jane. Kusia. I have made the abro for it. Tony.
Some of these traditions and
Hey.
certain things outside.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, bro.
Nti uhia mu pa na hye se de agropo ya ye pa de ka wase ye life nyina ye de produce weapons say ye de twen omo ye de
No,
revenge.
there is nothing. This one is plastic. It will fall down.
Esu sisi ana
You
say
do
mate
what
say
you
ye
want
kra
to
ya
do.
kosane we bi kra say nuclear weapon de ye produce bi da. Obo call you engineer
Yeah,
meeting.
we don't need.
Agenda.
Yeah, and you don't need a nuclear weapon to fight this battle. We don't need a nuclear weapon to fight this battle. Senior engineers have shown the way to win this
You are
battle,
a friend
and it's
online.
easy for us to win this.
Ah,
Yeah,
you do it
and
at home.
the best way we can win this battle, and a senior engineer actually, when you have something good, what they did to us, and they said, "At the paper piano, na ye among ourselves." Generational health no uko obusuafie na obuse bibia panyin na ka kire wa onyu sika panyin ko en ahohia anan na hofe se na ofa ase aba na se oh ofa ade uye ne se obetu sisi. That was who we are. That's our culture, and they knew this, that the only way they can break us is to take that thing from us. It don't make a selfish individual. We think about ourselves first. Is bibia na we bibia boom. To look at the way architecturally na musi dan twehia etu betimi no maame nua matena na munim o ma mem na wale 4 me na wale 4 ba na enim se we maame ni yenyi didi bom ye no aduane bom udi obi aduane obi ayo maame obi ayo na it not there was a bound between us. That was who we are, and the white knew this, and the only way to break us is to make us self-individual, selfish, and that's the results are here. And the senior have shown us the way. Share it. Don't think as send your school I won't absolutely first no. Share among them. So far as I say that model now you see you see the same model no. Eddie mom who selfish individual no. Let's say it go back to what our ancestors were doing. We can defeat. We don't need missiles. We can easily defeat them. We don't need missiles. The whole share it. Who vision share with the others. Though you cannot be of a bad vacancy in there. Or is only answer like Omokono. Senior chair, how you bit me creative work on our own like economy. And you must say, Sika, let me make example which I'm more fast back. Say, I cost 1,000 a unit that on 500 that were fair. Or 500 the other day. Why? Because you have about 10,000. And he doesn't see the value of 500. But if say only be a 500 no obetia so atape de see. Why? Because only scan be. And say you need to meet in nuanom. Emunya self-independence, self-financial control. My brother, I'm telling you, we don't need messers. We don't need messers. Any partner is selfish or because you need money. Selfish or because or pescan or the who yale were butchery. But yen and I'm train in your back says you will near the same way. The person doesn't need to go to a butchery. So he doesn't need that money. And he can create the work by his own culture. If the person is financially independent, no weapon can control that person. No orchestration can defeat that person. No economic gain of it within the defeating Nipan. Because Nipan can create his own wealth. It doesn't depend on you. And that's the senior have shown us. Onunya in the way no one so look at or share no look at liberation aba ama nipa bebree. All because onya no one wanye me pese me nkuminya. Me nkwa me antena so or share my nyina. It means na na motuo no unya nimdie bi uwa de papa bi omu a please share with others. Don't feel as oh this my like what could school accounting ube make it consultancy out of it. My brother onu unya no consultancy a kbia can no me ni access to it. But Ocean freely no now we have access to it and it's liberating all of us. Please, I'm pleading with anybody here on this platform who information be who are the people be share with others. Now, one thing I'm on this platform listening to senior and say, the more I will share the though if you can't do it, somebody can see the vision in it and the person can take it and do it. When the person able to achieve it now, meaning a Ghana near bird, a African near bird. Ebia won hold ntimi nu ba wo ka che onwa na onwa betimi aye na nya result senior the senior actually he was thinking oh ya ma you na wan fan no no nko am petimi nkunya and look at the way we niaji the way we nya so mfaso you see that it in so na ya also share with there opisu bi nya so mfaso gradually with this short possible time we don't need messers if the people understand their culture and their root they know this that the only way they can defeat us the root of our strength must be cut. And we can easily connect it. Maybe free time, many free time, maybe free time. When you balance here, ready, in Africa, like it's easy you can connect to any because we're a black guy, we're a Ghanaian, who is in Yano. And easy you can connect with them than connecting with white. I'm telling you, my brother, because who say and I like who was born to be within, who born to be as a blood, and who born to be only white man is our bond, no? Because no entity now dreaming different from not black man to black man. It means we can defeat this battle. We don't need a master. All we need is what the footsteps are seen action. Yen follow. Unya bibi na wo nimdie bi afache amanfo. Share my amanfo. Nimdie bi say na mjina dansoken, blood dansoken. Say we need to do if you can do underground water supply, we can do irrigation. Dan so let me tell you something. Burkina Faso, the upper side of Ghana. Burkina Faso, Ghana soro. That should tell you, say, it will be free Burkina Faso biano. If the higher elevation in Ebapunim, Epoasie, Burkina Faso, called northern region, you were the right side of the northern region, a white voter. The left side of the northern region, a black voter. They are all coming from the top of Ghana, which is Burkina Faso. And the Burkina Faso now, you what irrigation problem. I need some farming once a year, a northern part of Ghana. And the hosting what virgin lands are yen tempire. But we have two streams, white voter and black voter. They are all one on the left side of northern region, right side of the northern region. And the northern region is inside, in Sunda in Chen. My brother, we cannot tap this one. Because now we are doing some design. We say, you have said it in Sophie southern part of Ghana, northern part. It means that we came out with the sense of even pumping the water to the northern part. We have a stream, the natural resource on the culture. No? When we started reading our culture and thinking about root, we see that guys, we don't need to travel anywhere. The water is coming from the top, which is the northern region. The black voter is coming from the northern region, the white voter is coming from the northern region, and Nyamisu Kwani Nyansem, architecturally, no, would way to the left, no, the way to the right, and I couldn't even feel. And I heard Tamela, I heard Tamela with Vivi. Oko Boga was highest elevation, and Navlongos was highest elevation. In some places, your rivers that in chain, we can tap those rivers and let them flow by gravity. From Ano or you can say Oba a Ponanoa a salty. We don't need that one. Because oh, so free so bad. Why do you go and go for a borehole? It means I'm a slammo. Yen fan to your home. Obi wonim de bi a on share. Me enye person kumnya. I'm not fond the person kumnya ne be share education him so that they will divide us and root us. Say na penfo bu baby say, "Pray oh we ba kwa ebu. O ka boma embu no." Irrespective of economic measures, if the people are united, you can't defeat them. I'm telling you the gospel truth. All we need is to be united. All we need is to now do the sacrifice our fathers could not do. We need to sacrifice. Don't just have your idea be into me keep no return my yet no my brother. Seen a no notice or change or 10 times or transfer and come meaning and get association kwasum. Timis Royal. We don't need measures. They won't no share with others. My own financially independent. And I'm telling you, y'all,
Ofa,
we all
asam no
coming.
asam no me yasho so want ase. Tobo. Want ase. Now legend chirichiri mu. Because you show baby a ye problem no. Ye re na fi ye ho. E na ama sa problems we mu nyina eba. Baby a problem no fi ba no, ye encounter with these people. Enti obi a obetumi aye obone pa wo wiase eye nipa a obema wo refi ho. Obe condemn ade bi a wo wa gene de atum. You see am ye sure say ye Ghana po bebre. Me bram po de enu am ye conference call. Me ma no ha no o kan bo ko to me say masa o kan say hwi anka nkora na gya you. Because kasa na fe na wo processing na but ya gye atum ama sisi ano ye kasa no kora no ye gya ka. Inti nipa oye say e de atia wo no nanka wo life nyina kora no wo behu no kora we anka wo life nyina mpo no instead say wo de bedo no na wo hu na wa bie kwan ama no na wo nam ukrom se wunsuo no nka obi ka say wo life nyina fa produce weapons kora na fa ko fight na nipa no nka abone sa atam no na meka enye say ye ko
Yeah,
produce
me
weapons
that's what
no
can boni. Yeah, me that's what can boni. But me person me chwa dream say we even fine
no
as you say
problem
say
what the
yeah
no problem ya ti
weapons
ase ya ti ase
Your friend is say your friend says sarcastically na they are okay.
Yeah, yati ase ba we we are now the YouTube channel to jana ya ba bisunya de o kire no ko ye nyina ye putu ni nyina gu abonten sa ati ati. Enti Mr. Bafi another question em say me dey fa my can language no ho asem kura but a problem ba ko a legend ma hu no me pese me bisa se ye betumi ato ye kasa atwene ama yenya generational wealth no bi ana. Is it possible? Go we share the way I na legend yenye radio. Ko ye schools no mu ko he. Isi aye kasa no da gomba da gbani ewe ya to atwene o. Ankwara na eba no omo nte be o. O ka kasa kwa no gyan ho hwe wani. Intergenerational wealth yo mbetumi anya bidie. My last question. Legend.
So you really feel kasa na just you really feel. Na broni ne system na wahyehyɛ no yɛnka ho so ɛka ho ano yɛ adwuma ama no sɛ yɛdie paa sɛ yɛdi aboro no so ɛwɔ ɔno system no mu deɛ ɛnyɛ possible ɛno sɛ yɛbɛtumi ayi different system a yɛsɛ yɛte yɛn ho ase na yɛte na yɛsa te deɛ ɛwɔ so ase yɛnyansa ne yɛ nɔɔma ne bebree so yɛ system yi mu yɛ kasa yi mu na ɛwɔ yɛ culture ne mu na ɛwɔ ɛno na kwasi broni koraa bere ansa na wate ase. Can you imagine say China to na komo use abrofo system kwa omo kasa on bibia e koma jame omo dada we Google no afam kwa we Android we ntoka na eba but China is complex because omo different language different culture. Into okosi baby ano apem. The abo ya ho ban kakra ye kasa na kaye. Any amamre na kaye no, your traditions. Na abo ya ho mo kakra. E na nkofo ka Ghana sem. Say Ghana is different. Ghana is different. What they tend to forget is that so Ghana for now other African countries. Ghana no still yes so culturally. Obi aba Ghana wo hu se Ghana he say ye. Na say na omo de coat ne tie bia bo manka ye de enka kuntum kuru no ye o. Enye ho no ya bosi utu me hu nsa ja ye. Bi sara me hu no. And what bre baby ye di amamre ye frank ntoma ye twa ye ho. Sa no man na ma Ghana no ye different no. Nti ya obi ba na Ghana ye different Ghana hospital Ghana culture na. Eno na aboy ho ban. Where other African countries now mo ye na say who right away ye. Go for ejira ho na me say go for is so maduru he. We Kenya for because mo ye no. Oh, mo wi refi mo ho.
Yeah.
Nti ba sana sebe ye die no kwasi bro ni be build the companies ni nya no mo ye adwuma wo. No mo ye doctors, engineers, no mo ye adwuma mo. So you get to control your water. You say so ye die. Omo culture na nye stronger than ye die no. Na ya to ye die nyina agu omo kasa no emmoro ye die no so. Ya to ye nyina ya to ye die agu na the thing is that wo ye wo said day wo nye bia. You will never be Caucasian. You can go from where to where. Anthropologically, we are African. It's as simple as that. Onye Bruni. And Bruni on the culture, Arab on the culture, Chinese on the culture, Tuntum Musu all day. And do bet my fanakasa, bet my shanatadie. But your DNA will not change. So long as I would in the DNA namino, I will promote the DNA, don't forget it. You cannot keep the word. You may do any. And the AI is no do anymore. One person will be a benyafe. Just one of it. The more I am crop for no camera for a they produce lawyers and doctors. They will only feed the system. The vicious system that enslaves, that destroys, especially people like us. That's a fact. I mean, at what point in history? And I will be see one race where there it me come woman in the pet me show me hang you a tone what is a more.
Onyam na ya yi.
It means we are based on race. We see that from the inception of time. Compare himself for penetration salon. And we do say any part of embrace who am our bay any women African Americans are 400 years. Do you think so more acceptable to be full human beings and create their own worth?
Legend, yes, so more no more wicked na wo. Omo aba na different.
We shallow. We are cast away shallow. Okay. So Bruni believe in equity and who send and crop on billionaires and Kebehana.
Yeah.
Abroad is just about 10% of the world's population. And so we are seeing global institutions beyond the person control. They see a threat. When say the next 50, 70 years, they will come for. To keep that. So any part the other was a how. South Africa population in control. I don't know how. See any part. I don't know how. Say China any person ye. Inti yanko for no be brain suan de no. And as was suan de abro ni man is adu suan. Woman na woman test anoma we asia. They wish say Kenya sa. But this is the reality. Sanity. Into you feel who are. Ubesomo.
Metimika bibi kakra.
Sure.
Then go ahead, Anna.
Aye.
Okay, I mean, there is this observation, which I believe say, yeah, Africans, you know, okay, now I see several factors, but maybe count one particular one. I'm a personal experience, to home. Chrome had me bus school. Me yeah me masters wa na yeah masters. You know there was this cohort group. Cohort me year me project work. Na Korean back home. Korean no say a project work via ebe kono no wo ho. Ye be project work no bia be kono no wo ho. No bus school. Until one day na my friend na me say what around that now because he obi abeba na wo ha. Ye koso so a na waka wo ho. Oh no so the family comes to get me. Na me say family. Is it your personal? I want to say no. I'm not saying also you won't understand. Until me be interested, I try to follow him. To me be who say almost a Korean restaurant. That time in I'm Florida. I was home. To me, yes, in the man share that quack or third and share the way of life. Into guy never two more one weekend. And obviously I'm say, what are you doing here? Because me call 10 p.m. It was at that time, most restaurants in their phone. But at 10 p.m., me realize the Koreans were trooping into the restaurant at 10 p.m. The student, me mate in whom, or yeah, very surprised as me were around that time. But Mr. Sunana, me person me share near me being, and I'm saying, no, I just came to buy food. And I was okay. It's a chain, I'm say, and I say, not share me what's going on. And also, it is something away outside that you never know and you never understand. And also, but if I ask that, or bet share me. The long and short, and it's a Korea for no war system. It goes back to their home country. That was South Korea. Into no say me wahano and I me Korea for no wahano. We have a whole enterprise. More restaurants, more skincare shops, or even a bank. Into no say obi wo Korea. They contract with the family. Near the Nipanaba. The community here no pays for your airfare. Oba baby abeda. That's the family. Now Oba money we no family assign contract. Say if you are Patrick Jumum restaurant na ba juma and nail salon or your bar nail salon na ba juma. And the contract is obey juma for 5 years. Obe sum for 5 years. And also we are the group, the family, our capital, the amount business, you start now. So what run is our business, Now your sound contract will say, send you do buy you be share what say amount capital, so you be can't go for be so dia brew. No, so I be started the cycle. Or can no me who dream. And I was trying to figure out, the Ghanaians, South Florida when I was there, I also change the Korean community. I'm a close knit. But they are very close knit. And me realizes that all of them were driving luxury cars. Man, who Korean if you're driving any regular or be driving either BMW and Mercedes and all that. And I'm besides why that? I don't know if they are class and style. I'm supposed to say they work hard, they should play hard, which was encouraging enough. But the gist of it, and they say, I realize that you ain't Africans, We are here and Ubia tries to obey an idea by themselves, alone. And we are all suffering. Yeah, we try to portray that we are doing good and I'm Wall Street and I'm hard, but you could have done better together. And that is the focus of the Korean model, a building generational wealth, because the cycle continues for everybody who comes. You come into the system, you work, they build capital for you, and they set you up. Almost dying, almost bank.
Minya no. Saa adeɛ wei a mebaa kurom a mehuuɛ no nti na me instigate the formation of GH Capital, KOD, Investors Real Estate back home because we have kurom ha, they don't make money individually. And yeah, nipa ba kuno quite rich. Elon Musk no God. It's a network.
Yeah.
By any benina man ye nkwa ye tie be pimpim sa. Anano me wo fa. Abesha ha be 30 years. Ko Ghana 6 months wo. If you cross your grandman kodem dia wo. Individualism sa ni adinam hasa ni akokwa ni ewu ni. We don't come together, we don't build together. So there's no one working. That's it.
I mean, Obia per se, the man who say yeah, blacks and the yeah, Obia per se show off how well they're doing. Into na car no at all. Mo adam fubu ha auto new car no aframe Jack pass bi no I'm saying men copper to her. He wants to go and show off the new car what no. And your car not just a design and idea from head to toe. That's all we are about. And into the Mumbisa Patrick men go baby. I'm a bufu class and people are trying to show off. But that person is struggling, working 2 or 3 jobs to be able to maintain that lifestyle. Why? I mean, I keep asking. I mean, why do we do that to ourselves? You know. Whereas if 2 or 3 gather and pool resources, you can do way better than each of us is trying or we're trying to do individually. So for me, if you plan of building generational wealth, this is the foundation and the bottom line. You know. Like that's the letter I wanted to chip in for something to ponder about. I mean, you bet you have to try say work really hard individually, but because how the I'll bet you bills, you know, and the little left, you know, for you to use to fund any meaningful enterprise, near very, very scanty. And now my letter I'm personally contributing. That was it.
Yeah. What do you say, Mebo? I go fast, Maba.
Zabafin. Eti we the whole question ojiwe na me fa nkoda. Ziana wo say ya generational wealth ya bedi ya muso mo say ma ya nja bibia wa ha na ha no ya tu kwan ya ha no ya transit it said ya wo ko England na wo ko fa ya kan say wo ko fa Dubai uduru Dubai asa wuntumi enkosi dan wo ho gise wo to aso eti obi a me ya transit e wa asase so akọ heaven pa de mesi dan adwen generational wealth
say you tell we are saying Zania go heaven. Nti also build this out and no first answer. Esa come do tino. Say heaven no. You be quiet. Was here tell we are saying answer. Ana untimi ntwam nko straight. I was here obetina we are saying answer no go heaven. Ena
ha na nya 2 days nya 3 days.
Oba so awoko no so no. Ebia obe wo e. Wa me wo kra wo fa si obi ho ne ade nchidiafo ho. Eti o so otimi build this ade no so to. Ti etimi
nya ya me na be hwe omo.
Ya me dey so hwe omo wi dada. Ti wo na wo so a physical one no. What be some question? Maybe a question.
Okay.
Let's me to ba kwa ba. Yoruba ata Nicholas will say, I want to start something for myself, but my uncle is insisting I should work with him in his company. Yeah, up here.
Boss.
On your day.
O say there also be so ye bibi man ho na so ne wo pass onye adwuma wo ne company.
Onye on adwuma wo no ne company.
Say ho nso betumi de sua ade nti onye kakra o ye nyina na o practice o practice de o person o ye no. Me dia anka me de say ho no ye field a me a me hwa metumi asua ade a me de ho be apprenticeship. Ho no be free apprenticeship ya e be san pia oka. Eti udi sua ade now they build muscles no ofa no ndi na chikwa. Just learn from him, learn the principles. Sabe ya wo journey no enye enwa eni se ono nso sɛ ɔyɛ wabie company ampapa na akɔ n'anim nso deɛ a wowɔ nimdeɛ a wobɛtumi atapo afiri ne hɔ. So why not? But still na wobɛtumi ayɛ biribi nso wɔ nkyɛn a no nso bɛbrɛ wo ɛbɛbuild wo deɛ. Mmerɛ no so sɛ wɔ sɛ wokɔ a ɔno abɛka sɛ kɔ. Nti me deɛ anka saa na mɛyɛ no. Mede bɛsua adeɛ.
Yo, yate.
I
Nicholas.
think so. Yeah, me ne ya adwin 100% because mpanimfo bu baby say yes say wo tu sie so a onche no ay tenten dan say wo tu sumuna mu a obeche ansa no ay tenten. Until you can use your ankle platform as a leverage. You build yourself the same time no vision na person wo no. You can start alongside and you can get a lot of information from one ankle. And then also amount leverage bebree, amount opportunity bebree. Cause all your offering no some platform be a wo betimi anya co-worker wo ho no nya saa opportunities no. But because of what your offer no nya saa opportunities no. And a mistake e bia obi a ye be pad this man fire no how be pad because of what offer no. I think there's a good platform a betimi dia building ho. No what the ayen die no. Na time no do so offer no na be jam akọ. Nti ene de mfonko sua de no nko ni but say what do stage or none so we're competent to move on its own. They are fair enough. He can move forward. But say when not with me and give me no of on ye and then so bet me more leverage. Access of a normal bit me and they are built to future better. Yeah, I think say me yeah dream.
Yeah. Okay. Nicholas.
Nti
Contribution.
no Madamasi. Na mepɛ sɛ meka kyerɛ me nuanom akristofoɔ no. Yɛn na saa nsɛm wei a ɛnente aseɛ no yɛ den ma yɛ paa. Yɛn mu a yɛ asɔfoɔ no titiri ɔmo yɛ young guys na ɔmo ba yɛyɛ a hey kyeka no aboa yɛ no agye sika no adi yie no. Asase so a yɛbaa yi yɛwɔ die nti a yɛbaa ha. Sɛ Nyankopɔn pɛ sɛ yɛkɔ heaven sɛdeɛ ɔmo seɛ no anka ɔde yɛbɛkɔ straight. Woba ha na wo so wongya hwee wɔ ha a menwo. Ɛne wobɛtumi akɔ ama yɛyi wo nneɛma no afiri hɔ. Mengya akwaraa bia wɔ ha. But once a wɔyɛ w'adwene sɛ wobɛgya obi wɔ ha, sɛ woanwo koraa na wɔwɔ faase wɔ ha no, ana wo nua bi wɔ ha no, dwen generational wealth a yɛkan, dwen ho pakɔ adwendwen mu na make sure sɛ wobɛgya biribi wɔ ha. Fi sɛ ɛha ɛne yɛwɔ evidence sɛ nipa ɛte. Planets I discover nyinaa from your solar system to Milky Way galaxy to the observable universe. Ɛha pɛ ɛna nipa tumi tena. Nti wo deɛ ɔwɔ evidence bi na ɛwɔ wo da yi mu a no problem. But make sure you leave something here. Nti legend. Ntabatu, kankam, ɛne abusuafo nyinaa. Na menhyira mo, meda mo ase.
That's it. Ya piano no. Aye. Ona.
Yeah, me know yeah.
Ujane,
Na we dey kakra na me ka kyerɛ ya over.
Na twaso. But your time you know we dey so I be kono.
Kakra me ka kyerɛ ya say yeah, we dey quickly. Mishra wa ye mu yenua ma Christopher no. Yeah, dey also esu hu omo ho say ya won say hu engineer no. Hu Mr. Obin no. On say na e bia na so dwen sa. Na so bi evu sa. Nti say no wabehu bibi. Wabehu an foforo bi. E na tete no ma bi afiri utirim. Nti saa na yesu ye hu omo sa. Say the atete afiri wani so no entity fi omo so ani so. De wo hu no omo so hu. Nti o say nyom ho abotre. Na ye koso a chechiro omo. Ye koso a na omo ye share links bibi say na wano ma to so no mu tie bi. Kakran omo say beti omo ani so. Till say beti omo ani so no de yaw. They always have the same point omo wo no. Omo be dwen say na omo dwen na nti saa na tie. Na kakra meka on my side and say Mr. On nyina yen nyire ho yen sua your culture no yen kakra na I hope say the future is bright yen kekan ho mumbom yen nye no man kakra na e be successful nyame sha obi bia me da so fa ba fi
That's it. Opusco. Che, o besa me fro ketechi ana me fro ketechi o. Opusco bra. Opusco koso. Is it one about Susie everybody? Oh, push go area do was. Praise.
Mena friends ano. Eh. The
That's
virtual
it.
team.
Any push go. Is it one about Susie everybody was?
Eh. Mesama wama Mr. Bean. Ube join. Media kakra meka afa generational wealth no hunu say let's study our history, let's come together, let's invest together. Invest on your own, but come together and invest with your brothers and sisters. It will not be all rosy, there'll be problems, but it's surmountable. Yeah, and better solve those problems. But my is stronger. And let's join patriotic investors, let's join GH Capital, let's join KODI, real estate investors, and invest. Let's join our brothers and sisters and do things together. That's it.
Yeah, Mr. Prince, architect behind so many of the projects that goes on this platform. You know, DH Castle. Look, I'm ready. I'm off to be brave. Person mo joining. I say yeah, and I also your friends saying kill the building. Person hostel and also Koso. And another
Eji nkrofo nti obiara oye interested bia obetimi alenke ya
always
Mr.
open.
Benson.
It's always
open. Come in. Let's invest.
yeah. Prince, Mr. Prince, yeah, dear pa. Nana do say so. Is also an architect of so many projects. Also, very friends, innovative guy. Never be real. So he's behind it. It's yeah. Say. I'm say. I'm say. Asante person okasana line in ye. Eti ono we be last time. Bra. That the way be na udidi. What does udidi? The whole world show.
The wood here.
Koso yetio.
I offer by me damase nameda abusha foso ase. Ene ma homache mitie ye nua kwanyini ayi obenda ko confidence any other no that is 2 years ago, right? But it was so inspiring. It was so inspiring. No Colorado, nti no krum haya.
Oh, za?
No Colorado.
Oh, Denver na.
No Denver, University of Denver.
Okay.
Nti ye papa obeda for the only me. Metai. That me timi fufu ano osere me a. We are so interesting. Nti ne yebeka ne se enemo chire no kama na o ka mu bisa yenia ba fi ne yepanyi ne yo meda kono about the history of Ghana no. I've read enough, but you guys are teaching me more. See, nimdeɛ no deɛ mu impact it very well. It's me no meba hanom no enkyɛe deɛ that it could be 1 year now, but the next year I'm moving out.
Moving out, say Uko
I'm
Ghana.
moving out. Me ko Ghana.
Okay.
Me try China 3 years. I learn a lot. Me ba house must maybe share. Me no me you be a impedisha. I learn. Me obi in that dame obi in chile my drink. Nti say me ba o platform so now o kan asem na say adwen a bit mam makoma ma. I pick it up and move on. So nti minia me sewa yen nuanom hia ehia nimdia a wo chire yi. However it is yen nuanom hia sa nimdia because ya yira wo Sometimes me na about me go adwuma me a movie as my part-time job. But I go every home in Colorado, every city in Colorado minimum. But I've seen say that. When you tell them the truth, they will never listen. Krom hanum no, the more ochen, the more untimi mafi. Ofaba bi me boa.
I know. So which channel welcome will be also
The more ochen. Yes, because obi person obafi na owo sika bi na person obafi a be triple 3 times. And son with mobafi ama ne ho ato se obafi ekọ abuchiri. Na me so me imagine say me slide bi. Na me kira ade o Ghana. Ese da bi a me tie obenda ko old videos na yenuanom bi etimi test or kira ade. Me a teacher ni all my life. My life ni na me nya adwuma bia nka ne me ye o America yi ho. Na so bi eka say o teacher ni na o jai ne teacher adwuma aba abuchira. Sometimes it me shima kuma because who need na wo say ye fi ho no o so wo scan waka asma chiro obi o who say to da bi amanfo to me share da bi say na obi da ko no wo de. Do you need somebody to have something to tell you what he can tell you? I feel off one when we say I say obi always can also kasa chiro obi. But the thing is the rarity to me say obi over experience. We say earlier now we discuss empires and all kinds of empires, you know. Yenya panyini
Jonty. Oh, I'm sending the line article.
there is nothing like democracy. There is nothing like socialism. The fact is,
Kwame.
Mr. Befi.
Let me tell you.
be
Say
sending from me, be from it, ma ake adiamu. We need to love ourselves. Say, yeah, it's my self-love now. We are damaged. Obi am pay afemo. Senior, me say one time me obi ko ye adwuma. Adwuma ye adwuma na den. Ni ewie no. Ono ye broni nto nya bia no. And I've learned say obi bini bi and you will scare the mom. Ti anuanom me na mesre mo ye nuanom ayi omo ye mu so omo kira ade no. Omo tu omo ho na ache o. Omo nye nipa bi afan so bi omo ya ade etie obi a omo tu omo ho na ache. Some of us we saw this ye hu san in the way but ye force ya say ye ba say it me achieve something and san it ma ba out. But ye nua no what ma for so
Oh, Ashanti will lie, dear. A time no so called. Kwame to Asumai. Kwame, point.
Tabefi mi chiao.
Point.
Tabefi.
Me ka ne twi a ọma chichim. Wɔn a wɔwɔ nimdeɛ mfakyɛ o lowɔ so. Wo na ayɛ a na ɔkɔ.
Who so Kasa? Kwame, here we enko. Na, Asante. Kwame enko.
Tabefi mi da se. Chiao so.
So. Tell catch it. It's all about cash in this
Hey sir. Me a hustler.
America.
Na amano for na no mo ka se ye wa han me ma no no mpeso mo kire se. Mo mugu ho mo te ho mugu zu wo. Ye ba bi so a mo se da bi me nti ase.
Ya no ho. Ya wa no.
Me tabefi. Ene ya se ma me nti.
Depend on the you know so question also. I said it.
Omo person mo kire se me ye ma. Unso kosole agusutu o basan akọ. Nti u person wo kire ye se. Ye beba. Nti ende omo nka ye nti. Ye no no de omo nka ma ye nti. Enye mo si enye. Enye de bia nso gusu wo ho. Ukwa anu abebom mienu na akọ. Ni ye be bia mo si enti eno na ebe de ne ama. Anyway, ni nyina eba besi de de atete ya adwen. Ene niema enti ma ye enti mi ne ye ho enu nti na ye ka obi ma so na ya adwen ye se bia ye duru ba bi sa na na bitinya ye de enya sika nti se
Ohomafi.
abakosem ne nya
Aha, mini ya kwa me ka okay.
abakosem ne nya zabefi unhu hwe wo krom ha o de bibia betoto fom beka se hwe ni ha sei even abakosem ne nya kra na wonya utumi diye wa ha still no be je wa adwen se wo ko ben broni nipa na akọ ben no so mpe wa asem but still nipa ko da ki nipa tuntum still so ko ben nipa no kwa ne system ne mind mu no wachiche mu o onka ho emre bia we ye bia wo ye di gensiu
Mini ya kwa me mini wachinyo na yenom ya nante kakra na yetena afiri so kakra nti mesre wa ayi Ghana mimi wo gidi o Ghana mu esi a me no ka sei me build system bi a mbese me bafia ma start it no man ko mpotna China nti minim no makakra ti me tuto no ma ebafie pese me ye farming minhia plastic we ye fere se fra greenhouse me the net na ye go e hono awia no bo nti me the ba na masan fese brown half the whole brown half omu do post ne atosode bebre but omu ni nsuo brown half ni nsuo nti I'm thinking of say me ba down me ye every village or whatever many umbe collaborate na because me wole is kakra na ye dam ama omo no mo da do improve sana makoni ade ene ye wo kwan a na titi ancient town no mo si eye ayi ye obi a friend macro organize obi akọ kodo afu bia na saati bia akodo so no however the land is who here macrobis no I think Mr. Boy, if you muna my science kakra mu siase Who hear microbes no? What now grow?
Praise the yes, praise.
Why?
They say praise them so yes size.
And the praise na make us say no. But name mo musutie. Who sister science na make can any science yirawo. Who afuo ma. Dia kese ase. Who ku dia kese bia ase abun say enwura na tete egu ho no ma ayi my friend say na kie na e wa ase no afu who say de ade bi afu bia na say I say no no ye macros no e na edidi wo saade no enti wo se sata no ma na wo be ko cha na wo de banche enchene ene ayi a wo betimi dia astre wo no mo saate no so ma saate na e kama na di na ntwibini ene no ma kikanka but Ghana agrek no problem ni nyina yi nsuo timi nya nsuo usobu nsuo na eti Kenya for ye bi on friend say dam omo she de tu amana no mo de rubber aseho na nsuo to a na abegu eni ba ko we farming in Africa onu waye bi any other people waye bi eti me no ne nuhu ni say ye be ko enima yensua ya bakosem ko na no me nua ba ko fi Dubai ba fie na no ka say oh bra me ko me mane cheda ko fia ye hene owo fie ma no site na oni ndi ko oh omo asase kese isi sele na ajabe kanu am dem me friend ajabe because o say ye wo japade wo fie o but ye tekane me o ko no fa ka chere say oh wo asa mu ye wo asa se kese ye pese ye ton na me ka chere say dabi on ka chere no fa ni say on ton asa se bia o fi because se abusia wo asa se a eni kwa so ton mu lifi famu obi say on do so ana ondidi so ana on sini down also by 100 years no be say agin back ti say e ba sa bi apanyi ti bonko so mo ye sa ahihye ne kura na akura bi obebo bi ebo hu say no ne papa ne mana say ne ai bi papa ndi ofo ba bi me de ne mi hu ni say efie ye wa hoto na mom e ha de eni ahoto obi obeka so wa ahoto ha bia no ye dadafo obeka na esem bia no enkosi aga nti yeda ye nua panyini ana ye nua obindako se no si bie ni na oman adwin ba ye ho so enne se me na mi tie sa the confidence I was shocked. Oh, me ba afini o next year me ba fi
Enfa ho say ya
me ya kwa me menya bro
enye wo mre na wo ye ne ye ka ho asem
me se me ba fi
be na me ni
me ba na ba me se me ba ba kiao me ba na ba
enye nchi asem ne ye ka
da bi unso mu so ja fo asem ko na ti ye ti ja fo na asem ko me se me nya boss me ni me nya boss me se because me ti mi bi adwuma de me nya boss eti me ni akwa me de wo me say me ba fi a obi a wuntimi ende wo ho enye elie wo adwuma no onye boss mpaje watemasi me ne kwa no wo
senior be fan sa
ala fa ba bi aha ti mi mi adwuma na me mfa nkrofo no de menye boss yeah nti o fa ba fi me damase na me chia abusafo nyina nti nyame adoma ye ba bisha kwa na de ya o temisia no ko soja fo adwenko ko ndo mo titi o mo de mo no different Obia where ayi mine no ye YouTube bang no so jani mi hu so jani bi o Ghana ni na dream the phone power here ni. I'm telling you, I want to see a different. I respect them wholeheartedly. It's always no be or chastising go for taking into heart say Kwame can kwatasem sebi. But no yaw no de kasa saa no. Eto da bi on some bi o kan no do you so di obin that question when you do ama ne man. And na second yaw e wo ne yam. Nti o kasa some of us ni tia no so minia no yaw no dawson. Say ni nia no mote baabi bre. Wo fu say sebi okọ fie no e kakra e ba ne nsam kakra e ba ne botom na ni nia no mo bre. Aya nkofo gbe se bi a oka sebi nkwasasem no oka o didi nkofo atem but he's telling the truth. If you don't have first-hand experience, you will never know. Yeah or no, the kasa. I'm telling you. Kwame Mwa.
Kwame that's it. Yama Kwame Ntoaso Kwame.
Aja Kwame. But so you man.
Isabefi.
I'm saying
Wachena.
Egrofon Pamuno. Egrofon Pamuno. I'm finishing. The point. Ne bon pay my.
Isabefi the one say obetimi adi year abakosemi na so ti ase one to abakosema ase a ontumi enya hwe onye hu ni unhu se onkofo bra enye oya unhu ohawa onse tesi yedie wo haw mu nti se unim abakosem na obede hu ohaw obede hu de onkofo pe ene de omompe nti since on ti abakosem nti na akobi a business no akotwitwa balloon wako ye office kese wonama wo kita friends friends proposal also per funding 750 million na yenza fa trata anasa anyaka mi yenza nka ho ad between you it tells you don't take culture ase endi wo te culture na se a de bia no oju hudi to ye Ghana ni aha na me free na se niema ye didi no ohwehwe na won kan semfun emfa oman ho na eya na ye mu binom ye sorry free ye man we mu ni ekodrama no ne ana ye hu se ye skafo because obi wo ho a wote baabi wo hu microwave krada na so wo hu iron krada to ade da ana se washing machine to kodru New York City, Hamburg, Netherlands, Norway, Oslo, and I said France, Stuttgart, and I said Landstone, or say with DE, because you moved on now and T the asset. Was say oh first street is not be sending pass ye dear car crash who are ye as well. And it tells you the level of knowledge and then say we ask no the wo dream and our day bow bra. It is a name maybe one as one tiasia ye dear I to say good ye the man over fast walk or bompire no I catch say maybe oh ain't he say oh share ye mine ye the niema bebree na me kwa adwuma me he be 7:30 nkofo ani abre pompa ye na like enti muno e de na kire se wo betimi ayeye se ve on ton ade abakosem onye o offer services bia but sorry say nyame bema wadi yi ono shira nyame na dema ono ana ejefo sunsun wi ase anti akua mintama so na wonam wi ase sa enti ya na utum se emu oya because abrabɔ no yɛde nim deɛ na ɛbɔ deɛ na wonim unum hwea Mr. Befi wobɛtumi adi yie wɔ ha sɛ o menuma bi wɔ maazi wabɔ bra pa akɔ n'anim bet abakɔsɛm nyɛ nti wasesa ne nneɛma sɛ ɔkɔpɛ nkrataa ma ne ma daakye wɔ Germany na ɔyɛ cleaner wɔ Germany wɔ paper ɔde nkɔfo paper na yɛ adwuma nipa na ɔno adi yie na kɔhwɛ building na wasi ɛne ne yere ho fa a wagya no hɔ ɛne adwuma ne inventory nneɛma over millions wagya hɔ ɔkɔ kwasi kɔkɔ kurom ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛde biribi asɔ nipa no adwen nti abakɔsɛm no deɛ ho hia o wonnim a wontumi da bia wode yɛbɛto fam na nipa no a wokɔ no hɔ no nso no ɛmpɛ w'asɛm ɔmfa wo nka ho wode yɛnhwɛ the global economic system sɛ ɛmu han na yɛka ho woka yɛn kɔɔfoɔ na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkɔ global obi sɛ ɔyɛ global citizen ɛgyaa na obi wɔ hɔ sɛ ɔyɛ global ambisa sɛ especially nnwomtofoɔ no ɔmo sɛ ɔmoto no ambisa sɛ nti saa mo nnwom no a mɔto no kwasi kɔkɔɔ bɛn na ɔte Westchester County sɛ ɔde ɔno bɛtie sangatama putu anaasɛ frɛ ne sɛ kɔkɔɔ patapaa nnwom yɛ ɔbɔɛ nti wohwɛ yɛ level of knowledge na yɛyɛ ignorance to the highest peak nti from was a global citizen say me global the world is becoming global village we are creating for us I don't stress global village it was me ye program did me kind English dia kofo beti Bruni Ben or Colorado Alabama North Texas Dallas so obeti wo kwame ana say kwesi mensa o ka say free eputuja ana say dokochwa just say no just say o hwe ni petuntum na enti abakosam na de enya de a obro world is becoming global village because oh my Ghana nankasa if the world no if you are seeing a take a decision na what can who be on can who be enti de na wo betimi aye enti say what to abakosam ase na wo betimi afa wa brabo no ahye wonsa na wako koden no who say ye how ni die kita me say na metimi di aye because what abakosam na ase a Mr. Befi ungo trotro yi say wo be say o build wealth friend say proposal unkuchiri na mengu paper so ana say wo be ye bibia wo pese bia me pese me ye restaurant say me say me pese me ko ton jollof wo baby inti no se minya container bi mu ana se minya cage mu bi kura de si baby a me meton me mu be me nua na wonte abakosem na wonnim fom wo na fom wo no nso na agudie no ne nhira no nyina wo ono be ka kire me se okopɛ store ohia sika omu hia capital no aka obi ko me te se professor bi ka se professor and is scanning bet we na sika omu so na ekwemintama ma be gurase ho yedede no okofa ne capital free ha say so and you share the level of knowledge into bet yeda mo asese oro binda akon oro di anka oro abefi mu ne omom keka ho de bia mo kyerɛkyerɛ niema ebeyi efiri samani we dey praise before na to so wo how or bre amane na here we two kwan be we di atotoro ye wo how ne mane ne so nti nsɛm se ya mo kana ne betimi ayede aboaye ze mini aba akoka se ye hia misa and ye hia pa ye hia bi nso ka se Christopher no so no mo nte ne ma bi ase nti no mo nte ase da bi nipa na wo ji sunsum wi ase di no no ye ne da di wo ji an wo ji wo ntie wo wo te se wo tie sa program mi kwa na ho ye na hi ene lady bi ka bi kire mi wa ho jo ze obi beta de over te se wo tie obenda akono wadwa enti yensem bebre betini pa na wadwa no hwe na brabo nso no niema antani o niema nkoyi wonam de bi o sresre enti so obedi yi wa ha se dia so yi sa niema we nyina ede efiri wa dream na hu so ye nipa tuntu na hu se ye krom ha de ye die wa ha se na se mpese me ye restaurant na me ni sika metimi a start akọje mo emo miensa na metwa na me ton se saadi na metu aguso se moko na mechi mi ni blender be ya moko ma metimi akọtọ ayo de tapoli atwi ma de kratini ni nso pe blender or pe gas cylinder so nti wakech nti obeye hia nti obehwehwe visa obekọkwasi kokọ krom oba akọdane akwa obeye adwuma mienu miensa ofise on say we ask no say wadwi more mra ofise wo chisi more jobs and abenye school ehiafo na adwe no nti wo yedwuma miensa nine no we are wakachi so you krum akra the whole hospital healthcare kra nye better ade a onum say ade do beko wo mra nyi no bi na waate wo you krum nipa he na yedwuma nine no nipa he na kwa 12 hours 13 15 hours 18 hours wo fra no san ko baby foforo ne me e be break you down and you okoye adwuma na ba no ba kokra na baby o se ho nye na wo be wudi ane ahada ahayet se cemetery ne de ne ba ha se wo ba kokro so wo ba pension betan ganam se ana betena ha se tena baby a wote ne se ha healthcare nye ni wura fisi ye wo no krom ha se ha ne tete na no onyi di 20 something 30 years asa na ofura wanwu betiti okoye na wo se wa ben broni so baby a wote no kra no wo no mpese obeben wo be kan wo ben na no wo tuko na ni endi ni petuntu de adwe no enko yie dia wo be bre wo ha ni amane akwantu ne dia obenne musa until say we ye ka bibi say ya no bi gina chere na obi kan office o kwa me cancel o cancel fun there be mimi say meeting baby me kotena America hobi me hu say niema nten me ye de enfa na me sisam ne mbai me complain said there ya na se me gusu to mo ame na ba me krum na me de meeting krum na me nyame awie su bia na mawe me nyame kontomna pese bia na medi na me komanim se me de me hu bebo afore aye adwuma wo enkoasum body form ho ne de ne nka me ba betena me krum go me hu se me nya fa ho de de se freedom in the mind ni wiase baby a entokwa kase power oro me na akoka wo se ni adwe no edi se abrabo no ubedi ye se wadwuma mra abrabo fa oso na adwuma mra ne bi ne se wuntumi nyu muni na wonyi wabakose muni tisane ma we nyina na ema nipa entimi ni nzi obedi ye dia se otumi unlock ana so obiebie sane ma we so na de etimi ama wako anim abrabo obi wo beka se nyame adom the grace of God na wo mu bia se wo som no se wo som no wo mu bia enti se ye woni ema omumadi ye eye ena omumu akahia mu no so ye izo beso ka hia mu na se empenifo iba no mo cheche na ma meti na abeji achia we ya no obisa ho se we resource na te se nsunsuanso na te se abrabo be na wo bo de bia wo sresre wo twen piansa na wadidi oba school fees utumi tua de nkofo bi tiwi ase o mon de bi o mo sresrans no mo edi it tells you say adwin na fra de wi asa de ba ko ehu pa se wa adwin be fra wani we ne se wani we ne frank ayo but wadwin fra enunti na ni frani oduru ba bi otumi ka se aha ya ha se na se aha se ye se friend se ye ton bibu aha na kwasi mensa ate na ekua mintama ne de bi o madwin mu afra ti de bia no otonyom ye retwen wa nyamemre ne mrepa what God cannot do doesn't exist. But omunim say what God cannot do. They say God cannot change his ways for you to be successful because what kwasi emfa or you go. So God cannot change his ways to say you do you go so into oba be can pile. I didn't know so sin yankopon betimi be no yankopon to me ye de ampa. I didn't know call near do you go so unko near for you go so na me pilot too free. I saw them one Muslim one na go nsa no wie no so ko pilot. O call no akofa plane na wo kan. Nti ye woni ma yesua ye didi nti so oju hu din so a wani nka se wudu sika kra be hye kwesi kokokro mu se metwe untimi me kan chem se ebia wa form group bi nti ukoye investment wo kwetiko kokrom ti me meka ho there be menye because me krom has in problem e what has in a dozen one kase baby a wote na kase yempo wasem ye pamo but still ye do lumba so na bo say ye do usie na wupie ye do usie na wupie Dube catch him some messing kwa American kwa yes tita na se me kwa ye business there be menko menye because maybe chrome problem can maintain solving we tiade internet say me do me mind it is about kosem ya wo do mind wo jo mind di in your case about investment that's me opinion America but me dem me mind di say me problem me wa men solving we tiade na metimi asesa me sika free chrome say me dey kwa investment to be it tells you your level of intelligence because also a person a dollar millionaire Tiu kofono adwene fra ye wo sikani ye wo dini a wo ye hiani because odwen hia adwen enu nti no di ye wa ha no wontu kwan da wa hyehyɛ niema wa ha di ye bet wo wie no se ne ma no omonko Harvard omonko ha se okopɛ krata ma omuna nkwala ne da achinti tenso so wo ye defo bet adwene fra Isabefi Midibesi na on the 15th November Urobinda a seminar 15th November
first 31st online one and sana
31st nso obemeka 15th no 15th November yeshia Kumase yeshia mukesi ese cash flow for investment sika seminar se de bia de bia udiska nti ese hu sika de bia ti de na abeya bineska nti bra na betie bi ye ka se bra yen fa no nti o yungu so be bo afore na abedi yanka abeko beto abosa niema ni nyina wo ya ne aka cho se wahwe esunsunsun so ne te say how far now so we see my future is bright until I get there but your future is bright udru hoda pe so we say it is well with my soul so boa enko niema antene ya lebo wa obefrefre call enti beka me ho ne yenko yen register yen mo ho dawuru na sansem wa a building wealth o see ekrom na ne ma embedu wo fa bontin bebre na ho transition to a 21 day fasting na wo ehiafo no nko a na echimo madwen sa ni pe on se baby bia na ye di sunsun sam ye twan aban no wo hia na ye produce nti yenya sa ankofo bi Robin da akoso o ye nchechi a mo man kan ho ne support ne ntan nechi ni nko penim de ni bi ne efem mobra ne hu se ikrum ha de yedie wo ha ye num se ye ko ne ye bafom a ebede ebefefe so hu bibia wo de tal ne wa obefa nti 15th November and 31st nso or ye another seminar so enti kan ho ye se wiase wo de wadwen eto odi obotom to wadwen ma daache ebetwitwa ajo ebemu adi yi rabbi odame ansa na cho 50 fact about money on kinkan akope bi kinkan financial systems so about out Robin da akoko pe bi kinkan ne books no yenko ni enkosuan de was se wusuan de your earning capacity and determine your earning capacity and your working capacity. You say your learning capacity. Now learning na ye can self development. Yeah, the oko Einstein ne management 103 ne strategic friends say strategic management 457 there be geography 102 there be political science 101 there be yenko pesa ni ndiwe bi yen fe mobile 31st year be ya yen register na 20th aka 11 days yenko nkosua de usua de a emha ko anim ema yi ntentan ne niema ani adwene si apene no wetimi ade ho because we are say sika fa wo akoa wo bre wo do wadaje ne wo ha nyina che sisika sa akosise ubewu nti mi nkosua de Mr. Bef me da ase.
That's it. On that note, Wednesday paradigm shift. Beyond joining many Max say Max Obekasai or project or pesa amount for what chance on person investing in near day. obey more, go more in details near there. Until we join a paradigm shift, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Ghana time. Our paradigm shift Wednesday coming, which is 22nd. Yes, 22nd. Yeah, on your live show, subscribe to the Patrick Berfi YouTube channel. I'll be in a paradigm shift time. So make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and be generous. See you all. Bye-bye.